having alopecia, which I say shout out to Jada, because there's a lot of people, a lot of women who have alopecia and they don't talk about it. I got a skin condition. If y'all see my hands are a lot darker than my face. And so people, used to make fun of me, because they're like, your face is light, your neck, everything is light, your hands are dark. I don't give a crap. Hey, Ricky Vaughn. Y'all saw Ricky Vaughn tonight. So I don't give a crap. I had to learn to get used to my skin. But for a lot of people, it's really hard um, to deal with that. It's a process that you have to go through. So, and people laugh at you, people tease you, and think of being a woman, especially in her position, powerful Black woman, and even women who don't have any money, where you find out you have alopecia. Some women don't like wearing wigs. Me, I love a good wig. I really don't care. I love a good wig. So, but she had started wearing wigs. She started wearing really, and Jada is so cute. And I think anything that Jada puts on is cute. But she wanted to tell her truth. And so she did. So shout out to her. So anyway, so Jada's now walking around and she's bald. Okay. That's the first picture I wanted to paint for you. Second picture I want to paint for you is that there was a movie out called G.I. Jane. And I can't think of the lady's name. Oh goodness. I can't think of her name. White lady. Dang on it. I should have had my notes, but I just walked in the door. Demi Moore. I think it was Demi Moore. So she played G.I. Jane and she was bald. So I just wanted to paint that picture for those of you who really don't know what's going on. So anyway, back to the Oscars. So last night they have the Oscars going on. Chris Rock, as I said, he's the funny man. He's the hype man. Chris was actually on stage. And so Chris made a comment. Chris joked about another couple. I don't really know them. I'm not familiar with them. And then he made a joke towards Jada. Now, the thing is, I wanted to show y'all the video, but I don't think that I can, and I don't make enough money to really get sued. So if y'all want to see it, go on YouTube. You can go on the Australian YouTube channels, and you can actually see like the full thing. But I have all of it on my phone. So Chris made a comment about, Jada being the next G.I. Jane part 2. And so I'm going to break this down for you, because some people said Will was laughing, which he was, and I'm going to get back to that. So Jada had to look like really, and Will was like, until I think he looked at Jada, because people had taken still photos and stuff and, had them online. And I think when he looked at Jada and he saw her face, he immediately jumped up, went up on stage. And when I tell y'all, he slapped the crap out of Chris Rock. And Chris Rock was leaning forward because, as you all know, you may not know, Will Smith also played Richard Williams, Venus and Serena's father. And so he really, and that was such a great movie. I think it was on Amazon Prime or one of those. It was such a great movie, and he played it so well. And so, and as we know, Richard Williams was very protective over his family, especially his girls. And so when Will was walking towards Chris leaned in and said, "Uh-oh, Richard." And Will said, "Pow," right up in his face. I mean, he slapped Chris, and I know that it had to hurt. Will is a tall guy. Will, I didn't realize how big Will is, but Will is me too, Ricky. Me too. Absolutely. And I'm getting to that, Ricky. Ricky said, "I stand by Will Smith. Stand up for your queens." I agree with Ricky, and I know y'all gonna be surprised, because y'all gonna say LadyJ, why? But I'm getting ready to tell you, but I'm painting this picture. So Will slapped Chris. Chris was like, Chris kind of shook it off, and he said, "Okay." Well, that was probably the highlight or something, he said. And Will went back to his seat. Chris is kind of stunned. You can see that Chris is stunned, and he's looking. And Will said, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." Y'all know Lady J try not to cuss no more, so I can't say the F word. But he said, Ricky Vaughn on here, I know he'll say it for me. But he said it twice. And so Chris said, "Okay." Chris was like, "Okay." It was a joke. But here's the thing. It was a joke to Chris. That's the thing. Will and Jada did not take it as a joke. Okay. Look, Ricky said, "Absolutely." I know Ricky will cuss you out in a minute and smile at you. That's my brother though. And so, Will was telling him in so many ways, and this is the thing. A lot of people were saying, Will shouldn't have done that. He was at the Oscars. My thing is, forget the Oscars. Forget the Oscars. This is a little stupid statue. Forget the Oscars. Nobody knows, hey Jabari, nobody knows what Will is seeing at home with his wife. Okay? Nobody knows if she's crying but Will. Nobody knows if she's feeling depressed because she lost her hair but Will. Will has always to me seemed like this guy who protects his family. Now, I grew up in Philly. So let me tell you something. I got a little bit of Philly, a little bit of Baltimore in me. I was born in Baltimore. But I'm the kind of person I protect my family. And so I'm gonna be totally honest with y'all, as I always am. You come from my family, then everything that you've seen about Lady J, it kind of goes to the left because I'm gonna defend my family. I'm just like that. I'm sorry, I'm like that. Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. So I want to break down the whole thing about Will because I'm tired of people saying that Will was wrong. Okay, now Van said Chris had no business talking about her ever. It wasn't funny. I don't laugh at everything. That was not appropriate. And she said it's a condition, it's a hair condition, so she can't help it. Absolutely, Van. And she felt like Will should have slapped him, But I mean, listen, we can't tell people how to protect their family, but this is what I want to say about this whole thing, okay? Because I think it's a subject that needs to be talked about, and y'all don't go anywhere because I'm going to tell you something. G.I. Jane is not about a woman with alopecia. She shaved her head, determined to prove that she could be a Navy SEAL. Well, okay, who was that? Wait a minute, who was that? Sharon? Okay, Sharon. I mean, I hear you. And thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But the thing about it, nevertheless, Chris had no business even comparing the two. Because here's the thing, Chris, Jada, and Will are friends. And so even when you're telling a joke, like how far are you going to go with your jokes to be funny? If you're my friend and you know something personal about me, and then you get up on the stage and you just for the sake of being funny, you now gonna make it a joke. I have a problem with you. Okay? I got a problem with you. Sorry, I got a problem. Van said Chris had no business talking about Jada because mental health condition that wasn't no joke, and Chris wasn't funny anyway. And then we got Ricky who said facts. We as a culture and race have to draw the line somewhere. Exactly. We can't keep making our pain and suffering off of other people. That's exactly right. And Jabari said it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Unfortunately, Chris Rock didn't write the joke. That would be my only drawback. Yolanda. Okay, and y'all know I love all of y'all. Let me grab my glasses because y'all really writing tonight. Y'all gonna work me tonight. Where my glasses at? Listen, I love all of y'all, but here's the thing. I don't care who wrote the joke. We all have a responsibility. There's things that people are going to tell you to do in life. Are you going to do it? There's people that I like. One of the people on here is Ricky Vaughn. I love me some Ricky Vaughn, okay? And there's people who told me don't talk to Ricky, Ricky this, Ricky that. Guess what? Y'all can say whatever y'all want. That's your experience with Ricky. And where are my glasses? And so if I want to talk to Ricky, I make that conscious choice to talk to Ricky. We all make a choice, and then we have to live with that decision. I have to live with the fact that there are some people who do not want to talk to me because I talk to Ricky Vaughn. Well, whatever, and that's the choices that we make. We make choices, and there are consequences. So when somebody wrote when somebody wrote that for him, he didn't just read it when he got on the stage. They prepped for this. So he already knew what the joke was about. He already knew that it was about Jada. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. And he already knew that he would be telling this joke, and I'm pretty sure he has seen Jada's video. Now, if you have a relationship with this family, with Will and Jada and the kids and all of that, why would this be a joke? Why would this come out of your mouth? That's all I'm saying. Are you trying to be that funny, Chris? Because I don't think you're funny at that point. Are you trying to make sure that you get back or up on stage next year when they do the Oscars? Because that's what I was getting from it. And so I don't really consider that a friend. Now, people are saying Will Smith was wrong for standing up for his wife. Let me tell you something. When a man sees his woman crying, and you see that your woman is hurt, and she's been hurting up until, even coming up to the Oscars, because, okay, this is new for her because she's coming to the Oscars this time with her head shaved. No wig, no weave, no nothing. She's coming to the Oscars. I'm pretty sure it was a lot going on in her head, because we as women, we value our hair. We value, our skin, our everything. We do as women, as Black women. And so you do think certain things. One day I'm gonna share my story with y'all, that the things that I went through after I had my son, and how people were cruel and said stuff, and you hold all of this stuff in. Now, she has a husband who probably has seen everything that she's gone through. Even her kids have seen it. And so he was protecting his wife. I don't tell anybody how to protect their family, okay? Man, woman, nobody. Because guess what? If you mess with somebody in my family, I promise you, you're going to see the other side of me. And y'all pray for me. I'm just telling you the truth. That's just how it is. Because you're not going to get away with that. Now, the other thing I want to say, that mental health is super, super important. That's right, Ricky, 100%. I will protect and defend for mine all day, any day, in any place. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm a female, and I feel the same way. Ask some people. Because I feel the same way. Because you're not going to be disrespectful. I've had people, my dad is a minister. I've had people try to be disrespectful to my dad in the church at board meetings, but I promise you, I shut them down. Because what you're not going to do is be disrespectful. You're not. And they have called me a rebel. They've called me disrespectful. They've called me rude. They've called me all kinds of names. But the one thing you won't call me is a woman who does not respect and defend her own. That's what you're not going to call me. So I will. You get a hand clap from me for several reasons, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. So again, in case y'all been living under a rock, wait, Jada and Will, they've been going through some stuff. I think about a year ago or a couple years ago, this story came out about August Alsina, who is a friend, who's a singer, and he's a friend of Jada's children. Well, there was an entanglement. I believe it was 2020, yeah, because I was at my other station, and I did a story about it. So it was in 2020, and August had threatened Jada because he wanted to be with Jada. So you know how people threaten you when you get into them entanglements. That's why I don't get into none of that stuff. I don't get entangled with none of that stuff. No entanglements, one person at a time. Because if you don't do right, you're dismissed. So she got into an entanglement because I guess her and Will was going through something, and I guess she was trying to be Stella, getting her groove back. So she's having sex with August in the house, and this little thing is going on. And supposedly Will didn't know that. Well, I'm not gonna say supposedly. Will said he didn't know anything about it, and I believe him. But then people were saying, Will was cheating. Listen, I don't live out in Bel Air, so wherever they live at, so I don't know what's going on. Who is that? Big Gino has come back to Facebook. Who is that? Okay, Big Gino. If you Big Gino, you go ahead and be Big Gino. So anyway, so Will and Jada did this thing, because Jada has this thing called Red Table Talk. So Will and Jada sat at the table, and it's basically where Jada, she sits at the table. She brings people to the table that have issues and problems, and they just sit there, they hug it out, cry it out, and all of that. Me personally, and I counsel people, that was the worst thing I felt that they could have done. I understand that they're public people, but don't bring your public business like that to the Red Table Talk. We don't live in the house with you, and we weren't there. That's something that they should have talked about in their home. And after you go through your healing, this is when you come out as a united front, as a couple, and you talk about what you went through and how it affected you and where you are now. So the way that they did it, and I don't know who their PR people is, who the people are on their team, because they should have told them that they should not have done that. That was not the right thing to do. Hey, Honeyland. So anyway, they sat at the table and I watched the whole thing. And see, I'm big on watching body language and how people speak and how they respond. Will looked so hurt, but he looked like he was trying to hold it together. Because let me make sure there ain't no kids in the room. Make sure y'all take the kids out the room because this is adult conversation. I made sure I came on after 9 o'clock. No man, no man, and if I'm wrong, men, and you on here, tell me that I'm wrong. But I think I'm old enough to know this by now. No man wants to know that another man has been inside of his woman. Okay? And y'all still together. Don't a man want to know that? Especially a black man. And it's hard for men to recover from that. They don't want to know that, and then women will say, well, men do it. And they do. Men do it. But this, I'm talking about Will right now. And no man, I'm not going to put a color on it, but no man, who's that? Kevin. There you go. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. High five, Kevin. Thank you. She said, Yolanda said, it seemed like an attempt to get in front of a story. August putting this out. True. August put that out. Okay. That's why you have PR person. That's how you have people who can kind of, like the president, they come out, they write little stuff, they get it out there. Because, as an actor or actress and being in so public, stuff is going to come out all the time. But again, there's certain things that you go behind closed doors. We still in the real world. You go behind closed doors and you deal with that stuff. And then how about coming out as a black couple, as an African-American couple, and say, yup, but we did go through that. Yup, it was an entanglement. This is how we healed. This is what we did. Give yourself some time. I'm telling you as a counselor, give yourself some time to go through that. Sitting at a red table, just the two of you in front of the whole world with nobody facilitating it is wrong. And it's not going to work. Okay? So, Will and Jada did this red table talk. Like I was saying, I was sitting there watching Will, and you could see that he was hurt. The brother was hurt. Because first of all, you're sitting across from your wife, who this is her show. Red Table Talk is her show, okay? And y'all having this conversation. And a couple times he was a little rough with what he said to her when he said to her, no, you were in the entanglement. He was like, oh, it was an entanglement. And it was just the way that he said it was like, Jada, stop playing, stop acting like you didn't know what you was doing. That's what I was reading from him. And so I could tell that he did it probably because she asked him to do it, but I don't know that he was comfortable in doing that. But he sat there with his wife because he loves his wife. He's supporting his wife, and he sat and did the red table talk. Now, I'm probably sure as they think back in hindsight, they realized that wasn't a good idea because it was more memes and everything going on than a little bit after they did it. And most of it was making fun of Will, looking like a weak man, and they were saying all this stuff about him. That's why I said, if y'all listen to me, don't do that kind of stuff. It does not work. It really doesn't. It's going to backfire. And then there were things going on about them having an open relationship. Jade is with this person. Will is with that person. And it was constantly this back and forth where you hear Jade this, Will this, the children. You're hearing about the children doing stuff. All of this stuff is going on. And I'm telling y'all, mental health is so real. And mental health does not come with, if you're a millionaire, you don't have mental health issues. Mental health affects the broke people, the middle class people, the rich people, Oprah, everybody. Mental health issues affect everybody. I believe, and this is my own personal belief, after all the stuff that I've shared with you, I really believe that Will has just gotten to a point, because this is the thing, y'all. You cannot continue to deal with stuff over and over and over again, and people coming for you and people attacking your character, people talking about you. You can't continue to deal with that and hold it in and it not come out. It's going to come out in a certain way. Let me tell y'all something. When I got divorced, I told every man that kept messing with me, if you keep messing with me, you're going to get hit and hurt for everything that my ex did to me. You're going to get it. And I ain't going to stop until I see blood. I was in that mindset because I had just had enough. People get to a point, and we don't ever know when it's going to happen. It's totally unexpected. We don't even know it's going to happen. Think of it. They all dressed up, going to the Oscars. Jada looked beautiful, by the way, and Will's shoes was shining to the high heaven. I love to see a man in a suit. Will look good. And here they are looking good. They all dressed up. They going to the Oscars, and boom, it's an explosion. Because, see, we never know when it's going to happen, but you can't carry that pain. You just cannot keep carrying that pain and think that it's not going to come out. I believe, and this is my belief, and from my experience of doing what I do, I believe that Will was laughing, because a lot of people said, I'm going to get to the part where people said, Will was laughing at the joke. Will wasn't laughing at the joke. See, when people are going through stuff and they're depressed and they're carrying a lot of weight, Will was there, but Will wasn't there. Will was there because Will knew he was going to win an Oscar, or he was up to win an Oscar. He goes all the time. And I believe that Will was present, but he wasn't present. And I believe Will was sitting there and he was just ha, 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 ha. He's laughing, but he don't really know what Chris was saying. Because Will is dealing with a lot of pain. You can see it on him. He's dealing with a lot of pain and hurt. And it wasn't until, and I was looking at all these different videos. I wish I could show y'all, but I don't want to get sued for showing other people's content. But it wasn't until Will looked at Jada. Somebody did a video where they did it in slow motion. And you see, Will looking over at Jada. And it was like, once he looked at Jada, it was like his face was like, and it was like, what did he say? And that's when he snapped. And he got up and walked up on that stage, slapped Chris Rock, forgot he was at the Oscars, turned around, came back and sat down and said, because Chris was trying to get himself together and trying to still talk. And Will said, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. And Chris was like, what? Huh? Okay. It was a joke. Will said it again. Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. And he meant that. Because at that point, Will had snapped. Will had it. And I tell people all the time, you never know where a person is at. Y'all could be laughing, smiling. I was the most dressed up, makeup wearing, hair wearing kind of person, nails done, and depressed, and mind messed up. And listen, I was so messed up. Sometimes I didn't know what day it was or where I was, but I was dressed up. Everybody think, oh, she look good. She's doing well. Mine messed up. And I snapped one day. And that's what happens. Because you can dress up on the outside, but you got to get the inside right. You got to get the head right. And so, we can say, who is that? Kim? Kim said Will was wrong. Hey, matter of opinion, but I just broke everything down. You came in late, Kim. Go back and rewind the video. Matter of opinion, because here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm getting to. Will should have somebody in his camp. A lot of these people, they should have people in their camp who are strong enough to say to them, hey, bro, you need to get some help. Now, they see him more than we did. Bro, you need to get some help. You need to go talk to somebody. Y'all need to go talk to somebody. Y'all need to get some help. It should be somebody. Remember Mike Tyson, how Mike Tyson used to act crazy, beating up everybody, eating people's ears and stuff like that? It should be somebody in these people's camps who are strong enough to say, you need to get some help. So things like this don't happen. That's why, on the one hand, I'm saying, first of all, I'm going to say this. First of all, I don't tell anybody how to defend their family. People can say they wrong. They can say they this, they that. Let me tell you one thing. What I've learned to say is what I won't do. I'll never say what I won't do, because you don't know what you might do when you get into certain situations. And I've done some stuff that I said I would not do. Okay. You never know until it happens to you what you might do. So when people speculate and they like, oh, he's wrong, this and that, listen, that's his family, that's his wife. I don't know what happened before they got there. I don't know if Jada was crying before she got there, or she was crying in the car because she now everybody has to see her with no hair. I wasn't in the car. I don't know. Only those two were there and whoever was driving the car. And so we can't tell this man how to protect the woman that he loves. But I truly believe that Will is very troubled. Will is a man. No man. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I know that I'm right. I'll tell y'all why I know that I'm right. And this is way before I even watched the video. Somebody had posted a video. It's probably all over social media now because I got all of this last night. But Will did his acceptance speech. And in his acceptance speech, one thing that Will was saying is that, and he started crying because he said, one thing is that people don't understand how it feels to be constantly talked about, attacked. They saying they coming for you. And I understood. He was telling us, if you read between the lines, if everybody stopped talking and saying he right, he wrong, listen to what the man was saying, because he was telling you in so many words that he needs help. And he was crying because he knows that he needs help. He knew that he was wrong. He knew that he was out of pocket for what he did. But okay, I did it. I'm done. No, he did not apologize to Chris Rock, because you know why? He meant to hit Chris Rock. He meant what he did, and he didn't apologize. But he apologized to people at the Oscars, which he should have, to all of those people in the audience and people that may be watching. Children might be watching. Yes, you want to apologize for that. Him and Chris Rock, I believe, are going to work it out because they're friends. So I do believe that they're going to work that situation out. But I believe that we as people, we got to stop jumping the guns. We got to stop looking at these people like they don't have feelings like we do. They are people just like us. They go through emotional stuff. They go through depression, anxiety, stress, just like us. But every time we see them, they're dressed up on the screen. They looking good. They looking like they got $1 million. My boy Denzel, who I love, he was walking around looking like, listen, that's the legend right there. That's the real GOAT. I love me some Denzel. Denzel came over there. It was another video I saw where Denzel got up. Daddy Denzel got up, went over there, hugged Jada, gave her a big hug. He was talking to her in her ear. When Will came off it's going over my top. My top then got all entangled. When Will came off the stage after doing his speech, because 30 minutes later, after he slapped Chris Rock, 30 minutes later, Will won an Oscar for his role in playing Richard Williams. He was excellent in that movie. I'm getting to y'all comments. Hold on 1 second. I'm old, so I got to get all my points out so I don't lose them. And so he was excellent in it. When he came off of the stage, Tyler Perry and Denzel was at the stage waiting for him to come down. They came down, they hugged him, talked to him, and then as men should do. And I was glad to see these brothers get up and walk over to him and hug him, walk him over to a seat where his I think that was his PR person or somebody in his camp. They came over and he they talked to him and hugged him and everything. And I do believe Will seems like a good brother. I believe that Will was embarrassed. I think, in hindsight, getting up today and thinking about it, I do believe that Will was probably embarrassed, because Will doesn't want to look like that. He doesn't want to carry himself like that. But I'm hoping in what happened in this situation that will understand that he needs to get help. That should never happen again. But because here's the thing, and this is why y'all should never sit on the front row. Go to comedy shows, don't sit on that front row, because you're going to get heckled. That's what comedians do. But I just felt like Chris Rock knows them well enough to know that that was a subject you don't heckle somebody about. Chris, you got a wife, you got a daughter. Like, you should know that there's certain things that you don't talk about. Any man, and again, man, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Any black man, you know, the one thing you don't mess with is a woman's hair. You could be having sex, you could be going to the beach, you could be getting in the water, but you know you better not mess with that black woman's hair because she don't want her hair messed up. Am I right, man? And so the fact that Chris Rock got up there and thought it was funny to say something about Jada having, you know, being G.I. Jane and all of that. So Chris, what did you think that meant? All right, so Chris Rock talked about Jada in 2017. Okay. You know, but Jada had hair then. So I'm sure Jada laughed it off. And again, I want to say this. Jada is probably now more aware of that not being funny because now she see when it's, and that's what I said earlier. When you walking through the journey, it ain't funny. But when the journey is not about you, we can laugh it up. Okay. I remember I used to not have no sympathy for single moms. I'm like, if you know, y'all need to get out here, you need to do this and do that. Until the day I had to go to the welfare office. That's when I got sympathy for single moms. When I had to get the EBT card. Because I ain't know nothing about the EBT card. So the thing about it is when you're not in that journey, things are funny because you don't understand it. That's why I tell people, stop laughing, stop talking about what you wouldn't do because you never know when you're going to be there. Ask me. And I've been in a lot of places that I ain't want to be in. So I'm looking at Jada, and Jada probably did laugh at the joke. Jada's probably, you know, never thought that she would have alopecia, but now you sitting here, sis, and you got alopecia. So now you're more sympathetic. Now you want to do videos about it. Now you want to help other people. That's good. That's good. So I think both of them are learning something. You know, they're both learning something from this. But stop telling. Let me tell y'all something, okay? To the white and black people that's on here right now. My great grandmother, great grandmother, was a slave. Whipped, beaten. She was raped, had 5 children by the slave master. And they had to go back and lay down beside her husband. And her husband knew that she had been raped and was carrying the slave master's babies. And this is passed down from generation to generation. So half of my family looks white. Some of them, you can't tell if they white or not. My great grandfather could not get out of his bed and go to that slave master's house and beat his behind for raping his wife. But I often wondered, how did he feel? How did my grandfather feel knowing that another white man, not, I don't want to say white man, but the slave master been inside of his wife, impregnated her, and then sending her back to the bed with, what kind of foolishness is that? So when I hear people saying, oh, Will shouldn't have done this, or Will, he's a black man protecting his family. Don't tell men how to protect their family. If Will felt like that was what he needed to do to protect his family, then shout out to Will. And everybody mind your business and take care of your household. That's the problem in the United States today. We want to tell everybody what everybody else what they should be doing, and your children running around like rugrats. So, you know, that's the thing. I don't tell people what to do and what not to do in their family, because that ain't your business. Unless you pay bills over here where I'm sitting at and here, and I got some bills, if y'all want to help me pay them, then you don't get to tell me how to do what I need to do when it comes to my family, my son, my mother, but none of these people. You don't get to tell me what to do. And I think, you know, black men who really love their families and who love their men. I was talking to a friend of mine today. They will kill. And I'm talking about kill. I'm not just saying it, the word kill. They will kill for their families. Because long time ago, and y'all might be saying, well, don't talk about slavery. No, we got to talk about it. We got to have that conversation. Because when I tell you my great-great-grandfather, I'm sure he wasn't laying in the bed like, oh, well, I'll just wait till she come back. I'm sure this man wanted to get up and hang this man, this slave master, for impregnating his wife and then sending her back to lay in the bed with him. I'm pretty sure that's what my great-great-grandfather wanted to do, but he couldn't do it. Because then he would have been killed or he would have been sold and he wouldn't have been with my grandmother. And so a lot of this stuff goes deep. And so when people chit chatting and talking, I'm like, shut up. Take care of your house. If everybody took care of their house, we would not have all these problems that we have with these children and marriages and people running here and running there. We wouldn't have these problems, but everybody would be in everybody's business. Now, okay, so let me go back to these comments. So Renee, hey Renee said that they should have taken it outside. Well, Renee, here's the thing. The Oscars, I think, were just starting. I don't think they were too long in the Oscars. And black people ain't gonna wait to go outside to fight. They're gonna deal with you right there. I mean, that's just how it is. We ain't waiting until we go outside. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. I'm just keeping it real. And then we got, and if anybody wants, let me tell you something. If anybody want to come on the camera tonight and you want to talk to me, let's go. Because Lady J is ready. Okay? I'm ready. Come on the camera. All you got to do is tell me you want to come on and talk to me. And we can have a conversation. Okay, G.I. Jane is not about a woman. Oh, I read that already. I read that one already. I read that one. Y'all certainly welcome to come on the screen if you want to. I welcome that. Yolanda said it seemed like an attempt to put. Oh no, I read that one. Okay, let me go down some more. I keep seeing. Did somebody tell me they wanted to come on? Okay, Eugene Moore said, I don't know who Big Gino is, but I guess that's his name. He said Big Gino saw the Oscar when Chris Rock talked about Jada Pinkett. Will was upset. I don't blame Will for popping Chris Rock. Candy, y'all just trying to get me to cuss. I ain't cussing tonight. He deserves to get slapped. If it was my wife, that's what I would have done. That's from Eugene. Okay, Eugene. Listen, I don't tell people how to protect their own. I don't tell you because that ain't my ministry. I just finished chaplaincy school, but that ain't my ministry. How you protect your family is on you. Stop, Coco. Okay. Jabari said Will did exactly what he was supposed to do. Chris Rock should have used better judgment. He chose to hurt his supposed best friend for that's what I said, for a cheap laugh. You ain't never lied, Lady J. It backfired on him. Exactly. If I'm telling you something, even like if it was a personal thing, let's say me and Jabari friends, right? So if I told Jabari something, and then we get around a group of friends, and he started talking, like I'm gonna have a problem with that. Or if you see me talk about stuff publicly and you know that it's hurting me and it's something that I'm still dealing with, why are you talking about it? I'm going to have a problem. All right. Ricky Vaughn said it was crazy, sarcastic laugh. I think it was him also deciding how to handle it. And it could be. I think that I kind of think Ricky that I think he was just like I said, I don't think he was 100% there. I think he was there at the Oscars. And you know how, like, I've been to a lot of comedy shows, and sometimes I'm just in a moment, like I might laugh. You know, I wasn't really funny, but I might laugh a little bit. And it seemed like that's what he was doing. He was just like, like until it hit him, like, what did he say? You know, so I don't know. I don't think he was always there. Kim said he was wrong. Kim said, okay, so sorry about that. Kim said he needs therapy. Ricky said, keep my effing wife name out of your mouth. Ricky ain't cussing tonight. He was hurt. That was his wife. Right. His wife was hurt. And you could look at her face and she was like, she had this look like, really like, man, Chris, like, you gonna do me like that? That's the kind of look she had on her face. Everything, I cannot get this thing to come off so I can see all of these comments. Everything is not funny. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when people do stuff for money. Like you really gonna do certain things. Let me see if I can get it with this. You really gonna do certain things to get a laugh or because it's gonna get you more money or whatever. Ricky said the 54th West Philly came out. All I saw was a mother. All I saw was a mother being teased and hurt. and his wife, a sister, friend, defend at all costs. She probably almost didn't really want to go, but when it, see, that's what I said. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, I don't think it was one of them. I don't think wanted to go, but I think they went because he knew he was going to win. The story about Venus and Serena, that was a huge movie. Like, if y'all have not seen that movie, the Richard Williams, King Richard is what it's called. If you have not seen that movie, go and watch it. Will was amazing. The people in the movie, I didn't really know them, but they were excellent. And apparently Venus and Serena, told them exactly how, they should do the movie and what should be said or whatever. It was a great movie. So because he was winning for that, I think he felt like he needed to go. On top of that, Venus and Serena, the two girls that played his daughters, and the lady that played his wife, they were all there. So I don't think he wanted to disappoint them. Um, Oh, Yolanda said he apologized to Chris later this evening. See, this is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I said earlier. Let black men, and I'm talking to the black men, okay? Let these men handle their business. They grown men, they're friends. And sometimes, men get into arguments. They see men not like women. Women, we will argue, and then we don't talk to each other no more. Like, we cut you, we done. Men can fight like they did last night, and they probably went out to lunch later on the day. That's how men are. That's how they are. And I love that about men. And that's probably why I get along better with men than women. Because I'm like that. Like, I'm gonna say what I got to say. Then I'm done, but I'm moving. Don't keep nagging me, coming at me with a whole bunch of nagging and talking. I can't deal with that. Let's handle it. Let's do what we got to do and move on. I hate that. So you don't see me around a lot of women a lot because I don't like that nagging stuff. Like, say what you got to say and shut the heck up. Be quiet. So anyway, so I'm glad to hear, but I already knew that was going to happen. I didn't know who would go to who first, but I really believe that these two brothers love each other. I believe that they've been in this and thank y'all for the hearts. They've been in this comedy thing for years. They've been in it for years. They friends. And loved ones, they get mad with each other. They fight, they get upset, they come back together. So thank you, Yolanda, for telling me that because I already knew that was gonna happen. Cynthia said, I saw a post where he apologized to Chris. I hope it was real. Cynthia, I definitely believe it was real because, again, I don't know Will personally, but Will has always seemed like a real genuine brother. I think Waiter, with Jill and oh my goodness, Jill, Jada and Will. This is the other thing about getting married too young. Like, I got married when I was 22. That was way too young. When you get married when you're young, you don't get a chance to really get all of that play out of you. So Jada and Will, they met on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is one of my favorite shows. I love me some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Martin. They like my two favorite. Oh my goodness, I could watch that all day and laugh every single time I watch it. I love them shows. But they met on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And so they were young. They were young, they got married, they had kids when they were young. And so everybody kind of grew up together. The kids, the mom and dad, everybody kind of grew up together. And it's a learning process. I believe Will and Jada are just getting into their manhood, into their womanhood, where they're starting to understand. Oh, I got a comment on YouTube. Sorry, y'all. Sharon said, there were so many other ways you could have handled this. It was a violent act, and it could have really gone worse than it did. Not a good look, no matter what was said. Sorry. So that's from Sharon. She's on YouTube. And true, it could have gone either way. But I'm going to tell you, Chris Rock is a smart man. And again, Chris and Will and Jada know each other. I feel like Chris knew when he said it, like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. That hurt my bro. I shouldn't have said that. And in his mind, I think he was figuring out while he was, doing a monologue or whatever he was doing, I think he was trying to figure out how he was going to handle that because he realized it was hurtful. And I believe they love each other. And so I believe that's why Chris did not hit him back, because Chris knew already, the world knew that Jada was hurting and dealing with this. And now you see they both are hurting. So Chris is a smart brother. He's very smart, very intelligent. And I think in that short moment, I think Chris got it. And Chris went on, and Chris was like, okay, okay, it was just a joke. Okay, okay. He got it. He got it. And he understood it. And I don't believe Chris will ever do that again. Sometimes things have to happen. And once we get it, we get it. But I already knew, like I said, that those two were going to come back together and be friends, because they're two very smart men. And like I said, Will has to deal with his mental health issues. And Will probably had a come to Jesus moment today with himself after seeing again, Will, it wasn't a good look for you, because the things that people are saying about you, you hit the man last night. So now they really talking about you. They really talking about you. And so I think that, that was the other thing. I think, they had a chance to think about it. Yolanda said he apologized on the Instagram post. Gino said that, let me get this, because his thing is not coming up for some reason. I'm sorry, y'all, about my hand. He said, Eugene said to let you know if it was me, just like Will kicked his monkey for talking about my wife on stage. He said a slap. He would have been. He said no kicking. He said that it wouldn't. Basically, he said it wouldn't have satisfied him to just slap him. I mean, listen, you don't want to take this thing too far. Again, if Will was in his right state of mind, Will would not have done that. I think Will would have dealt with Chris in a different way, because to me, that's who Will seems to be like. He would have been like, you, because they got commercial breaks. So I feel like Will would have said, yo, bro, I need to talk to you, because that wasn't funny. Don't do that no more. But because of Will's mental state and because of all the stuff that Will has been holding in, he cracked. Okay, he crashed. Kim said he definitely, talking about Will, he definitely needs to get help. I noticed that when watching his documentary. Joy said, Dr. J, do you remember the documentary Chris Rock did on her? No, I didn't see that. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. I didn't see that. I am not, to be honest with y'all, I'm a Will Smith fan. I am not a Jada Pinkett fan and Chris Rock fan. They cool. But man, and shout out to Tony Rock, because I met Tony Rock, got his phone number, interviewed him and everything. They good people. I met his family, and they are good people. And that's why I said the way that he kept his composure. Like I met Tony Rock, talked to him. I met I forgot his little brother's name. Met him, talked to him, interviewed them. They good people. They good brothers. So I don't believe, from what I could see and just talking to the other brothers, that it would have been this fist fight and all of that. They're boys. I'm calling them boys. They're men that think. And so that's why I'm saying, in a moment, I believe that Chris thought about that, and there was no need to punch Will, to taunt Will anymore, to say any more about it. I believe that those two brothers will handle it outside. And Chris seems to be doing well. So I think Chris was, that's the other thing. When you get your life together and when you are in your right mind, you're able to think more clearly. And so the things that we might say we would have done, sometimes you look at that person and you like, no, it ain't worth it. Because this person going down a slippery slope, it ain't worth it. I'll talk to them later. And I think that's what he did. Kim said, I don't know what Chris's intent was with the joke, but G.I. Jane was a movie. Jada looks beautiful with short hair. Not sure why the joke was insulting. I'll say, okay, Kim, let's go there. I'm glad you said that. Let me say this, and I keep saying it over and over and over until you go through a situation you don't understand it. Okay? Now, let me say this. Y'all know I'm always transparent, right? I had my son in 20. When was he born? No. My son was born in 1996. And see, I tell my stuff so nobody else have to tell. He's born in 1996. Prior to my son being born, I was a very hairy person. Bushy eyebrows, hair on my arm. I would have so much hair on my legs that I would have to shave my legs almost every other day. Hairy, okay? And I hated it. My son came along, and it was like I told y'all, I deal with skin discoloration. And it never bothered me up until I, was pregnant, and I had him, I think, when I was like 32 or something like that. But none of that stuff bothered me. It didn't matter because it wasn't happening to me. I've seen people with skin discoloration, hair falling out, and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't bother me because it didn't directly affect me. I didn't know how it felt. And I was sort of like, well, why are they tripping? You still pretty, like you still look good, until certain things happened to me. Lost all of my eyebrows. Okay. I'm being upfront with y'all. Lost all of my eyebrows. All the hair that was on my arm, my legs, gone. Hair started falling out. Thank God it came back. But hair started falling out. I could do like this, have a handful of hair. My skin, that never quite got back together. Now, my son is 26 now. But if y'all look at my hands, you see my hands are a different color from my face. My hands up to about here is a different color from my body. It's a different color. Hey, this ain't makeup. This is a skin condition that I had to walk around with. That for years, I wouldn't wear my arms out because people would be looking, because in the summertime, you got a light face and your arms are like dark from tanning, your hands dark. Then wintertime rolls around and you still got the same thing going on. And I had to live with that. I had to deal with that until one day I said, you know what? I'm tired of walking around with my arms covered up. Can't cover my hands, And a few times people that do makeup, they would say, make sure your makeup is the same color as your hands. For what? My face ain't, I got a skin condition. Okay? Simple as that. Whoever don't like it, boo on you. But I had to get to that point where I said, I'm okay with my skin. I'm okay with having my arms out and they're dark and my face is another color and my chest is another color. I'm okay with that. Jada is just finding out that she has alopecia. Now, my eyebrows started to grow back, but they haven't grown in like I wanted to, so I pencil them in a little bit. And see, I ain't scared to talk about it now because I'm good. Because whoever don't like me, I'm good with me. I love me. And so Jada has to get to that point, but it's a process that you got to go through. But I understand it because all of this stuff happened to me at one time after my pregnancy. And I had to learn how to deal with the fact that people are looking at me because I was a person, I'm a professional singer. So I was singing all over the place, winter, summer, spring, and fall. People looking at me like, what's going on with her? I had to cut all my hair off until it was about this long because I had long pieces up here, short pieces over here, hair just falling out all over the place until I got me together because a part of that was stress and it was causing my hair to fall out. So until I got me together, then things started, coming back in place. Except this skin, this, I guess that's the way it's going to be till I go to the grave. Don't bother me. It might bother somebody else, but it don't bother me. That's the point that Jada has to get to. And I believe that Jada, because again, we forget, these people are human. These people have feelings. They hurt just like we do. She is a beautiful woman, Kim. She is beautiful. But until you look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm beautiful with a bald head, it don't matter what other people say. Until I looked in the mirror and said, I'm beautiful with dark skin on my arms and a light face, it don't matter to nobody else. It don't matter. I got to say that to me. And that's why I said we got to look at that whole picture. And then on top of that, You got this man looking at his wife who's struggling because I'm sure he's looking at her saying, man, you're beautiful to me. But he's struggling with why she can't see that she's beautiful. See, it's a lot that goes into this that y'all got to look into. I'm just trying to educate y'all tonight. Let me see. So Van said, I don't feel like he was wrong. Chris should not have made a joke about Jada, period. And okay, all right. Thank you, Jabari. Eugene said, I have to go. What he say? I have to go. Will Smith said, let me do what I do. Will Smith is my hero. Okay. So Kim said, sis, it's not right to physically assault someone over joke. Again, Kim, you cannot tell someone what they should do for and with their family. Okay? You can't. And people have to stop doing that. Until you're in that situation, you don't know what you might do. You don't know. So I get tired of people saying, he shouldn't have done this, she shouldn't have done that. You're not in that situation. You're not in their shoes. Leave it alone. If you wouldn't have done that, kudos to you. Like, kudos to anybody on here who would not have done that. In this man's mental state, I think y'all not listening to what I'm saying. I think you're just not listening to what I'm saying. If he was in the right mental state, I'm telling you, I believe, and I don't know this brother, but I believe 99% that Will would not have walked up on that stage and done that. Will needs to get help. We're not disputing that, okay, maybe they should have talked. Maybe they should have done this. Maybe they should have done that. It's a lot of things that maybe I should have done, but because of my state of mind, I didn't do it. Okay? Bottom line, when I think back now, I'm like, man, and this is stuff that you can't take away. So when I think about it now, I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. And guess what? In my current state of mind, I won't do it because I know better and I've been able to deal with me. Until you can deal with yourself, you're going to continue to do stupid stuff that don't make sense. And a healed person, let me tell you something. Well, let me go read the comments. Let me just be quiet. Okay. Hey, Dorothy. Okay. Let me thank you, Van. Until it happens to someone in your family, then we want to see how you're going to handle it. Thank you. Jabari said, Chris didn't tell the joke outside. That's right. Okay. Dorothy, if you want to come on, you got to send me that request to come on. Tiffany, can't read your last name. She said Chris Rock should have known better. Didn't Rock do a whole documentary called Good Head? That's the one that Joyce is talking about. Yes. I did see that. I did see it. Thank you, Tiffany. Yep, I saw that. So see, all right. So if y'all want to come on, y'all got to send me a let me see if I can do it. Van said, all right, y'all, I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. But Van said, I'm not going to respond to these comments. Man, you just gotta go with it. Everybody has their own opinion. Eugene said today was not a good day. Had my first colonoscopy today. I found it. Oh man, we're gonna pray for you, Eugene. Coco, we're gonna pray for you, Eugene. Okay. Sorry about that, brother. He said they found 3 polyps, so we're gonna keep Eugene Morris in prayer. Y'all put him on your prayer list. Hey, Dr. E. Dr. E. Yeah, Dorothy. She said women are vicious. And women are. And you see, let me tell you something. This is why I don't deal with a lot of women, for real. I don't. Black women, we can be our own worst enemy. Instead of us coming together and trying to understand, what this woman is going through, even though she got money, she rich, got way more than I'll ever have. Can we not come together and have a conversation about this alopecia, how she's feeling, what she might be going through? But no, we see, and this is how we get stuck on other stuff. And that's what people want us to do. People always want us to get away from the issue. The issue is that Jada Pinkett has alopecia. And she's just starting to accept it and tell her truth. Can we talk about that? But we so focused on Will slap Chris. Okay, y'all keep staying focused on that. Let's talk about the hurting women around the world who are dealing with alopecia and men who are dealing with alopecia. And like I told you my story, it was not fun to walk around and you trying to figure out how you're going to get through this, who's looking, who's not looking, until you had to come to Jesus moment with yourself and say, the heck with all of y'all, I'm just me. I got to deal with the cards I've been dealt, you know? Mother Payne, I ain't seen her in a minute. I'm gonna tell y'all, Mother Payne is funny. Mother Payne is funny. Van said Chris should have apologized to both of them, and I believe they will. Listen, y'all, and let me tell y'all this right here. I'm gonna see if I can bring you on, Dorothy. I gotta figure out how to do it. Okay, so we got Andre James. I believe he's a black man. All right, Andre. He probably gonna hit us with the church stuff. I cannot. Okay, there we go. Andre James says it was wrong. The behavior is being played out in our schools, churches, community, workplaces, Walmart. He hit us with the Walmart, hospitals. Keep your hands to yourself. Let me tell you something, Andre James. I'm about to break it down for you. Mother Payne, thank you, Mother Payne. She said he ain't do nothing wrong. Okay, Andre James said something else. Let me get his next comment before I say what I'm gonna say. Because I'm gonna hit you with something, Andre James, that I need you to think about tonight, okay, as you making your commentary. He said, Andre James said, it's sad that as many women are okay with his behavior. This is not covering or protecting your wife or family. I don't condone anyone hitting anyone else unless it's self-defense. Jesus be a fence around me because I'm about to get you, Andre. I don't know you, but I'm about to get you. Now, let me tell you something. We can sit on here and have these conversations about Will Smith, Chris Rock, two rich black men, okay? Grown men. So they're going to handle that stuff. And like I said, I let grown people do what grown people do. Sharon said, she on YouTube, she said, I'm just wondering how Will slapping Chris helps Jada feel better. I feel for Jada too. I think these are two separate situations. I'm coming back to that. Let me get Andre James for a minute. Let me hit Andre James. I'm gonna slap you. Because this is the thing, Andre James. We sitting up here, we having a discussion about my phone can right down. We having a discussion about Will Smith and Jada and all of this, two grown men. But yet and still, I don't know where you live at, but I live in Baltimore City. We got children standing on the corner, okay, selling drugs, selling water, squeegee boys. Ain't nobody out there fighting for them and trying to help them get a job and trying to do nothing for them. But we're going to sit up here on social media and we're going to have a conversation about two grown, rich black men. I got a problem with that, okay? I got a problem with that. I see it every day sitting outside of my office. Children supposed to be in school can't go to school because their lights turned off or they don't have no food. And they standing out here. One of the boys was 10 years old, standing out on the corner trying to sell some water and wash people's windows so he can get money to help his mother pay the light bill. I got a problem with that. So when we sitting up here having these conversations, Will shouldn't have done this, and he shouldn't have done that, and they fighting here and they fighting there. Yeah, they fighting because we on social media having these kind of conversations, and we need men out on the streets. We need y'all on the street to help these boys so they don't grow up fighting, so they don't be shooting nobody. I live in Baltimore City, and they shoot on a regular. As I'm talking to you, somebody probably getting shot because that's what they do here every day because that's all they know. If you don't teach them, they don't know. And so we can sit up here, we can have commentaries, and we can talk about the children doing this and they doing that. Get yourself out on the street because I'm out there every day, okay? That's why I run my mouth because I'm out there every day that the Lord sends, every day. And I talk to them, and I give them money, and I give them encouragement. So when it kind of angers me when I hear people on here and they want to have the long commentary about what we supposed to be. The men shouldn't be doing this, and they acting up over here and they acting up. And you said church? Did you say church? Oh, don't get me started on that. Because during the pandemic, where was the church? Where was the church? Now don't get me started on that one. Where was the church? We had homeless people sleeping in the cold, needed food, needed clothes, needed money, needed somewhere to stay. Where was the church? I'm waiting as I look for my cord. Okay, Andre James? Where was the church? And where is the church right now? Because some of y'all still not open. But you want to sit here and have these conversations. Okay, let me calm down and get off my soapbox. Because he hit a nerve. I am sick and tired of people talking about what grown people are doing. And we got children out here struggling and taking on adult responsibilities. And we sitting here worrying about what two grown people doing and having a discussion and trying to talk about what Will and what Will need to do and what Chris Rock. The heck with Chris Rock, Will, Jada, all of them. Sorry about my hand. I'm trying to fix my phone because I had to put my cord up. The heck with all of them. Get in these inner cities. I don't know where you live at, Andre. Maybe they don't do that in your city. But where I live at, on the regular. So, brother, we need men on the street. And I'm out here, like I said, I got my boots on right now. I'm out here every day. They know LadyJ on the street. They know me because I'm out there, but I'm a woman. And so when we having these discussions, we got to understand that the children didn't just wake up one day and they fighting in church and they stealing and they going to jail and they doing this other stuff. It's happening because we as adults are not doing what we're supposed to do. Okay? Now, if you got a pipe, put it in that and smoke it. Because that's the truth right there. That's the gospel right there. That's the truth. And if people got out on the street and stopped being scared of going out here helping these kids, we could recover a lot of children and help them to really get back on track. But we so busy sitting on the screen. We talking. We gonna have a commentary about two rich men who done probably made up, done went to lunch. They probably at each other's house right now because they 3 hours behind us in time. They probably sitting at each other's house laughing about everybody else talking about them. Jesus be a fence around me. Don't get me started. Now, y'all want to talk? We gonna have that conversation. We gonna have that conversation because there's no way in the world. Where is my cord at? It's no way in the world that we gonna sit up here and talk about how children doing this, that, and the third, and we're not doing what we're supposed to do as adults. We're not gonna have that conversation. If you can tell me what you're going to do to effectively change all of that, then we can talk. Don't send me no more messages about that. Jabari says sometimes violence is necessary. Okay, now this brother gonna hit me with the scriptures. I'm not gonna read it right now. All right, we're not gonna do that tonight, Mr. Andre, because I knew you was coming with the scriptures, and we gotta stop doing that too. We gotta stop doing that too because let me tell you something. We can talk about Jesus all day, but you have to teach. Teach them how to fish. Teach them how to go out there. Teach them. Oh, this ain't the cord. Teach them how to learn how to do stuff, and stop all the talking. How you gonna take children? You go in East. Where you live at? You go in East Baltimore, and you gonna tell somebody not to fight? They gotta fight to go to school. They gotta fight to go to school. I talk to children who have to walk past drug dealers. They got to fight so many people just before they get to the schoolyard. Now, if you want to help out, I can walk you over to where some of the schools at so you can be security and help these children. But all of the other stuff you talking, Mr. Andre, We ain't doing no Bible scriptures right now. We're not going to do that because this is not and that's what kills me with people that's in church, because you just sat here and said people fighting in the churches and all of that. Then you want to hit me with the Bible scriptures. Teach. Is this my cord? Teach. That's what you got to do. Now you taking up a lot of my time, so I'm finished talking to you, Mr. Andre. I still like you, but I'm finished talking to you right now. Don't send me no more scriptures, because I know the word. Okay, I just graduated from chaplaincy school. I know the word, and I love God, but I deal with reality too. Okay, so don't think you're talking to somebody who don't know the word. Google me. Okay, let me see. Is this the thing right here? Where is my cord? So anyway, we're gonna skip all his comments because I can't do it tonight. And he's still talking. Cynthia said, I don't think he knows she has alopecia. I'm not sure who she's talking about. Andre, don't send me no more questions. I mean, no more scriptures, okay? I know the word. Dimitri said he was right in defending his wife. She did not like it. He reacted on impulse and not plan. Okay. Andre, goodbye. Good night. Mr. Andre, go to bed. It's like, what time is it? 10:40? Ain't it time for you to go to sleep? Good night. Ricky Vaughn, he said sometimes we need the sense slapped back into us. And I'm telling you, like, YouTube people, I might have to let y'all go because I cannot find my cord and I don't know where I put it. I hope I didn't leave it in my office. Get down, Coco. Dimitri said people simply need to stop ripping up Will. What did she say? Ripping? Oh, ripping up Will. He's not violent. Like I said, it was impulse. That's right, Dimitri. And sometimes, and she said Rock realized he needed to quit. Thank you, Dimitri. That's all I'm saying. She said it right there. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes we say stuff. He said something that he shouldn't have said. He realized it. Will realize today, or probably on his way home, what he did was wrong. Okay? Enough said. So how do we keep this from happening again? Is what I'm trying to say to Mr. I forgot his name, the one in the scriptures. Okay. All right. So then we have Eugene said, I have a skin condition, eczema. Yeah, people have that. You know, some people have it really bad. Mr. Andre James, I don't know who you are. I love you, brother, because I respect all people. But no more comments. All right. Nordia, I hope I'm saying the name right. She said, thanks for sharing that. I forgot what I shared, but you're welcome. She said, Dimitri said, I'm just keeping this thing real, how Black men out there would defend their wife. Like very few these days, they rather call women the B word and abusing them. Okay, listen, I got to find my cord because now y'all really taking me there. Where is, okay, this is what I'm going to do because I don't know what I did with my cord. But Dimitri, let me tell you something, sister. You said it right there, okay? Because all of these songs about you a bee, you a hoe, you a this, you a that, and people listen to it, they rocking to it, they vibing to it. I ain't see nobody on here mention nothing about that. Is that okay? Because some of them boys and men need to be slapped. Don't you have a Black mother? And you calling a bee and a hoe and all this kind of stuff? Don't you have these people in your life? But you trying to sell a record. You trying to sell your music, so that's okay. That's acceptable. And see, I'm gonna do a show about that. But we accept things. Some things acceptable. We okay with that? Where you at, Mr. Andre? We okay with that? We okay with people calling bees and hoes and all that kind of stuff? We don't have no conversations about that. But then when you have a man who stands up and says, I'm defending my woman, we got a problem. We got a problem with that. And I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't tell any grown man how to defend his family because don't nobody know what's going on in that grown man's house but him. And I don't pay no bills over there, and he don't pay no bills over here. So that's his business. Whatever he did, that's his business. Ricky said, "I love to jump. I have to jump on a call at 10:30. Love you, Queen, and thanks for all you do and your realness. Absolutely. Yeah. Um, let me say, Andre James, please go to bed. Andre James, please. Um, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you sent it to me, Dorothy? All right, let me go back because for some reason I'm not seeing. This is my brother Jamal right here. Oh my goodness, Jamal. What Jamal say? He said, "Here we go again. Negroes hurting Negroes. Will Smith was definitely wrong the way he addressed the situation with Chris Rock. He is the weak Jamal. He's a weak shell of a man. He said at the end, he said at the red table talk, he sat at the red table talk and did not address August Alsina having sexual intent. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Um, um, Jamal, Jamal, Jamal. I can't read this because I'm not going to call that woman that name. I'm not going to do that. Hey, cuz. Andre James, you're still up. Good night. Joshua Moore. He said exactly. Come outside and put some work in. Hey, thank you. Um, speak my distance. Eugene Moore. Okay. And then he said, Eugene Moore said, preach my sister, you straight gangster. I live in Baltimore. You gotta be hard. You can't be. And with Mother Payne said Jada had the okay from her husband during their 2 year separation. And that's true too. They were separated. Not that I'm saying, it made it right, but they were separated. Joshua Moore said too many people having an option online and it's time to get a real plan to action and come outside. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we can all talk behind the screen, but it's until you put your boots on the ground. And that's why I said, I ain't let nobody come for me and talk about what they need to do this. When I see you out there walking with me and doing some of the stuff I'm doing, then we can have a conversation. Outside of that, I ain't doing it. Somebody say, what is Eugene talking about? Eugene funny. Demetri said, Andre, have you ever in your sinful state of life reacted on Thank you, Demetri. Some people don't commit no sin, but so Sharon is on YouTube. She said, sounds like Andre was saying it's not a good look for two grown and yes, rich black men to go at it on worldwide stage. May have been impulsive on Will's part, still doesn't make it the right move. Hey, listen, like I said, again, y'all need to go all the way back to the beginning of my video because I was talking about I put all the puzzle pieces together to help you to understand. Oh, she did put it on here to help you to understand that Will is having some mental issues. Not that I'm excusing Will because I am not excusing Will, but I'm saying as we are arguing and debating and fussing about this, understand that when people are not in their right state of mind, they do certain things. Hey, Dorothy.
Lady, what is you doing over there? Get it together.
Listen, they coming for me, Dorothy. They coming out with the knives and everything tonight.
Let them know where we coming from.
Exactly. Like if you don't live here, you don't know. You don't know. And we got to get to a point where we stop talking about what other people are doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's my whole point. Like I love having these discussions because everybody wants to say, well, they should have done that. They should have done that. That's the beginning of the discussion. Now we have to get to what are we doing and how do we keep our children from doing that? That's the bigger discussion.
Because in a circle of life, I said on my live a couple of weeks ago that we need to start teaching our children how to fail as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Failure going to come. Failure is a big part of adversity, and adversity is part of growth.
Right.
And too many of us, we always teaching this. You got to be the successful one. You got to do this. You got to do this. It's a lot of pressure when you start putting that on children.
Mm-hmm.
Who frontal cortex is not developed like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
We know this in psychology. This is why in our judicial system, right? They don't want to really. They don't want to. And this is the issue, right here in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We got children now, because I was a juvenile delinquent when I was young.
Mm-hmm. Get down.
And I was at the age of 14 and a half. I was given juvenile life because the kind of crimes that I did,
mm-hmm.
right? Which could have led to taking life. Could have, right? So what they did is they took me and put me in a juvenile facility,
mm-hmm.
right? Before that happened, when we was in court, right? They sat down with my parent and my probation officer and decided, although I had all these serious charges behind me, right? Because the state wanted to go ahead and wave me over into the adult system.
Right.
But back in those times in Baltimore, they were very skeptical about putting children in with adults.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And because it wasn't no loss of life in the type of crimes that I did, right, that played a role, but they decided to give me juvenile life, which I will be released on my 18th birthday.
Wow.
Right. So we have the same issue right now, and we know we got an issue with young people not knowing how to resolve conflict, and like you said, they're learning the behavior from us.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get away from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We're learning it from us adults.
Right.
And how we resolve conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And we know on all levels, whether it's on the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the seats.
Right.
Exactly. We fight each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being unified, and how we let outsiders use us as a vessel to further their agendas, and we're not furthering ours.
Right.
Because the question is, how long do a dollar, when it comes out of our pocketbook, how long does it take, right, before it leaves our community compared to all the other cultures?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that says a big thing right there.
Right.
You got a black woman that controls the economy in her community.
Mm-hmm.
Although the black man makes like 20 cents more than she did.
Right.
So she controls the economy.
Right.
Her own community. That's a lot of damn resources. We keep complaining about we don't have any damn resources.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. We're sitting here talking about these entertainers.
Right.
Them folks got problems just like we do.
Sure do.
Them folks is in the same world that us black folks that's not entertainers is into.
Right.
We all is suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic
yes.
Older. We
yes.
400 and something years of slavery backing us up.
Mm-hmm.
And look where we at in the 21st century.
Right.
And don't talk about no church, Mr. Andre, because we got like 1,000 churches up here in the Park Heights community alone.
Exactly.
Right. You got 3 and 4 churches in the community. I grew up in this house right here. This is my mother's house in Shreveport that I inherited, that I pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I am a stakeholder for God's sake up here in this damn community.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it looks like shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you got every Baptist, Methodist, AME, storefront, all the ones that Ricky Smiley used to talk about when he did the lady dressed up as a church.
Yep.
Lady in church. You got every church you can think of up here in this community, right? And you got other folks from outside coming in here to develop this community, right? All these resources.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing.
And people are afraid in their home.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out there. down to the shit.
Right. Yep.
Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this my take on the whole Will Smith Jada. And yeah, that's right. Power to the people. Power to all the bald head women. That's right. And I'm beautiful with no makeup.
Exactly. Exactly.
What a black woman looks like.
Right. Right. Right.
I remember one time in America's history and black community, right, when black folks, when we saw the pictures that the Town Live Vision put on television, the propaganda machine, where it showed all these naked Africans over there and showed African women with their breasts hanging out.
Right.
That's certain parts of Africa, but that's not all of Africa. Africa is full with thousands of damn countries over there.
Right. Right.
Many of them have been westernized, and they can't say a damn thing about us over here. Right? Because they don't control none of the black gold that's in that land over there. They don't control none of the damn diamonds, the uranium, and whatever. And black folks are sitting here talking about supporting Ukraine and stuff, right? They treat black people like. I'm trying to be respectful because I know you're a godly one. I know the Lord is on this line. And I don't want to just be disrespectful.
Oh my goodness.
We so involved in those wars that's between two Europeans over resources, what Malcolm X talked about. All wars is over land and its resource. They have raped Africa like nobody's business. They've been raping Africa ever since then. They raped the black woman here in this country. My mom always told me that the black woman carries the world.
Exactly.
Mother of civilization. Will did the right thing by standing up for this. And I hope that's a message to all of those damn comedians. I remember one time on the Tom Jones show, I heard, you know how Tom Jones used to have the comedians on the show. They used to say little excerpts. I don't remember the comedian, but I remember this black man comedian was making a joke about Magic Johnson. And he was talking about cooking. And he said this was a live improv. He said, man, don't nobody want cookie. Who the hell want her?
Right.
That's what he was talking about.
Right.
I don't find no humor in that.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, we got Jabari.
We got 4 black girls in Baltimore City missing right now. Right? Never came home from school, which is a friend of mine that have a friend that says her sister, her baby sister, right? Black folks will be out here policing these communities like nobody's business. Black girls are missing. Our organs are being taken up in Chicago. They finding young black girls from the age of 13 to 21 up in vacant properties with no goddamn eyeballs, no goddamn hearts, no goddamn kidneys, livers. And we sitting around worrying about whether Will Smith was wrong.
Exactly. Thank you. The picture is way bigger than that. It's way bigger than that. You know?
Malcolm said that the black man and the black woman are the most neglected people on the face of this planet, and the black woman was the most disrespected.
Right.
This war over here in Ukraine, this ain't no man's war. The men is on the ground fighting the war, but you can bet your bottom dollar that white queen is behind the scenes.
And then this
woman doing with all her resources that she ain't got, because we control her car. We the largest consumers, and anything. Just listen to what I'm saying here. If we are the largest consumers in the world, the African American community, if we was to pull our resources back and subtract ourselves from this equation, us alone would shut down Wall Street.
Exactly.
Because we buying up everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
We buying everybody else. It ain't manufactured shit, but we buying up everybody else. We're not even growing our own food. Thank you.
Yeah.
We ain't buying no. Well, we got some blacks that is out here. You know, back.
Hey, James.
Earl Davis up in Chicago that ran a show up there. He passed away because of this COVID stuff during this pandemic. Right, Mr. Hurd used to say on his radio program up there, very well respected man up in Chicago. He used to say that we had over 1 million farmers back in the day. We're down to just a slight 100,000 now, black farmers. Now you know if they
Right, right,
So the white ones is getting the, they get the federal money and dollars and stuff, this back
right.
and forth, get subsidies and everything
Mhm,
for their
mhm.
crops and land and stuff. But they ain't doing them black farms like that. So at this point, now, I see us going back because we're gonna have to go back to what our ancestors because they was growing their own goddamn food.
That's why they shut the black farmers moving down because it was the power of black.
That's right. And they controlled the land. And the bankers set them up. All those black farmers set them up and gave them loans that wasn't fixed loans. They was flexible, right?
Mhm. And they didn't understand it.
Stores making backdoor deals.
Right,
The farmer so they could take his land and his fucking crop.
right, right. Because they didn't understand what was going on. That's why.
We better learn how to play chess.
Black,
That's what we
black
better
should
do.
have all of the money that's spent in this whole world, yet we don't own any hospitals, any gas.
That's another thing. That's another thing. I had a sister on here last night on live talking about that. She was talking about her son was murdered by a Baltimore City policeman. She said basically it was really behind his organs because we don't own no hospital infrastructure. Maryland is filled with hospital infrastructure.
Mhm.
And they ain't killing us one way, they killing us another. Right? And you in that Jewish community.
Y'all saying Squid Games, it ain't fiction.
I seen that. I seen that.
But I heard about it. I try to watch the scientific stuff.
I saw that. Y'all keep talking. I gotta get my cord. I don't know where my cord.
It's not just happening over there overseas in China. Like they put out this propaganda that's happening right here. Right here, right now in current state.
We could be such. I mean, I asked a friend of mine. He's like 67, right? I asked him today, right? I say, if this country, if we had a Pearl Harbor event that took place in this country, where the folks would have to get out here in these streets and we were invaded, like Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that the military that we had would obey this government if they called what they call that, what they did down there with Katrina when all that water came? They called that man down, they called it. And they was killing every black person they could kill. Because remember the prisoners that they had got all the prisoners out of the jail and then they were stuck out. And a lot of prisoners escaped and they spread it all around the country stuff because that system wasn't updated. They had a lot of they lost a lot of paperwork.
They did.
A lot of prisoners got away. I mean, from child molesters, murderers, rapists, everybody. And that's why they call it martial law. So if they call it martial law, do you think, because when in this pandemic, in the 2 years that we had this pandemic, I noticed from watching certain news programming that they were talking about certain military folks was like not taking the shot. So I said, hey, wait a minute, they are boards of the government. They can get a dishonorable discharge for that, can't they?
Right.
Evidently not, because they still in the military. But some of the military people like, you're not putting that shot up in my arm, right?
They keep on changing the goalposts of that vaccine shit every other day. They keep on changing the goalposts, keep on moving the goalposts of the vaccine every day. It's all game.
Well, it's the whole biological warfare. I mean, it's nothing new. They've been playing this stuff. Chemical biological warfare. If it ain't Great Britain, the UK, and that whole European common market with their
so many wars right now. You just killed it. You ain't never lied. This pandemic is right in cahoots.
Yeah. You know the CEOs of all these major companies. Most of them stepped down out of those seats and they cashed out on the stock market. So a lot of them walked away with billions of dollars.
Right.
Right. And so now, in a sense, they're making us pay for it now. And it's more or less, this is not, I mean, race is a card that they play, right? That's what they have to use that, and the card sexism and every other goddamnism and stuff. But this is about rich and poor. The rich not wanting to pay no taxes, and they want to live their fabulous lives and stuff, right? And the poor have to pick up the pieces. The middle class is knocked out the box. They the new poor.
Middle class knocked out the box. The blacks is knocked out the box. Right now, blacks is no longer eating in this country. Why you think they letting all these Ukrainians come over here? Why you think they letting all these Afghans over here? Right now, they're basically pushing blacks out of the monopoly capitalism. We already built this country. Yeah, they already enslaved us for 500 years, so we no longer, they don't want to live by our black ass no more. We can't be deported to Africa. We can't be deported like other ethnicities back when they have to our homeland, because our homeland is here. We don't identify with any other culture.
That's right.
Where's our home? We're going to put our ass in the fucking P-Down prison. We're going to be from prison. That's what we're going to be put our ass to.
But you know, they already school system of prison. And Maryland is a state that when they came in with their core program, right, and the 2 years they decided including the damn administrators and stuff, right? Maryland didn't hop out on it. They went on and sold their core, right? And they were paid and subsidized by the federal government. Now, I did some research into that, right? Come to find out the core program is run by the 1%. That's something that they came up with. So when Trump administration up there, he had that woman that was in charge of education that had no kind of educational background, and all the teachers was like, what the hell is this damn woman? Right? She had no educational background, you know? And he put her in charge of education like he put the black guy, the doctor, heart doctor,
Ben Carson.
like he put him in charge of housing. Now, you kidding me?
Yeah, I think Jamaica was moving in that rest of the bullshit like that.
Yeah. He was in charge of housing. He controlled all the Section 8. He didn't want to go up on the Section 8.
Oh, okay. You know. But that still was a damn great for this man's accolade. This man is a legend.
Ben Carson? He should have stayed over in the science community. I mean, he made most of his money talking across the country. You know, doing lectures across the country. They made more money doing lectures than he did being a doctor. You know? But this is what I'm saying, right? So this core curriculum that they have in it, with not educating our children, they coming out of school not knowing how to read. I mean, come on now, you 17, 18 years old, maybe 19, and stuff, and you on the 2nd and 3rd grade reading level.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
It's a whole nother topic. You know, half of the jail is dyslexia.
Right.
Or has been diagnosed with some kind of learning disability from lead or this, that, and the fourth, you know.
And don't you see?
I think the key to that is to give these folks a trade. That's where I come from, construction, right? And that's where I learned my math at, from learning how to read a rule. And it's interesting to me that that's part of the child's tools of taking to school from kindergarten, from Head Start. Your ruler, your crayons, pencils, paper, notebook and stuff, right? But nobody, by the time they come out of high school, know how to read a damn ruler.
Well, let me say this, because I think this is what I want everybody to remember. I'm glad y'all talking about children and you're talking about education and stuff like that, because this is the thing. And I'm going back to Will Smith for a minute, because Will didn't have, like, you know, a flowery background growing up and all of that. He grew up kind of rough, you know? And so a lot of times the issues that people have as adults, they're from their childhood. And when you don't deal with those issues as a child, you just grow into a grown man or a grown woman with these issues. They become bigger and bigger and bigger. And Will seems like the kind of person who all his life has just suppressed his anger. He laughs through his anger. He jokes through his anger. He's silly, you know, but he doesn't deal with whatever that issue is. And I think it's a lesson for all of us to learn that, you know.
Comedians, that's that thing.
Say that again? Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Everybody in the art community is basically dysfunctional.
Right. And they, instead of dealing with their problems, they laugh. A lot of people do that. A lot of people that's not comedian, regular people do that. Instead of dealing with their issues, they laugh through it.
Why was he laughing? When he was telling the jokes and stuff? Well, a person can sit right before you and be laughing and kill you, because he could have did. Well, if you want to really talk,
that's what I'm saying.
It was a slap. It was a slap so hard I thought he hit him with his fist.
I did too. I thought he hit him with his fist. Yeah. Yeah.
He could have went up on that stage and put a bullet in his
head. We can talk. And that's what I'm saying with mental illness. When you don't get the help that you need, and I think, you know, and especially with black men, I think black men have to understand that it's okay to go and get help. It's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to say, I'm not feeling good, or this is bothering me, or it's hurting me. It's okay to say that, because when they don't, things like what happened with what Will did, those things will happen. Fortunately, like Dorothy said, he could have shot him, he could have kept fighting him, he could have done a whole bunch of stuff. But everybody, we done all had that. You know, we all been like that, and I think it's just a lesson that we all gotta learn, and we got to be patient with people. And this is why I wanted to have this discussion too, because again, as I said at the very beginning of the video, some of y'all coming in late, but at the very beginning of the video, what I was saying is that you really don't know where a person's mind is at. You really don't know, because they could be laughing and smiling, looking good, smelling good, all of that, but they can have so much stuff going on in their head, you don't even know about it.
Look at this. Look at how many people are killing themselves.
Right.
That are African American. I mean, that's something was unheard of in our community.
Thank you. Yes. And let me tell y'all this. Because I'm going to come back and do it again. I'm going to figure out how to do it. Last week, I sat in front of this camera for a whole hour, and I did a show on kids, suicide, and depression in our children. Facebook blocked the views. It only got 4 views, because what I tell people is that you also have to educate yourself, because the media feeds you what they want you to see. Now, if the media wanted to change the narrative of what happened last night with Chris and Will, the one thing everybody needs to come back out with a video with Chris and Will together, dapping it up. You know, we talked about it. We good now. But we're not going to see that video, because everybody wants us to see, and they want us to be arguing over a black man hitting another black man. Be careful about what you allow to be put into your brain, people, because they're feeding you what they want you to see. And that's what we have to understand. That's why I'm always sitting in front of the screen saying, educate yourself. Get some help.
Since you're a Christian woman, right? In the allegory book, the book of metaphors, the Bible, right? Jesus said, or Yoshia said that we will be judged by every idle word that comes out of our mouth.
Yes.
So let me just say this to folks, because I saw you, watched you for a while, and you was like, y'all not getting what I'm saying. Some of these folks that's on this post right now, right, have said some things. Trust and believe what I say. What you have typed in and said, you're going to be judged by that. That's going to come right back around to you. You're going to be tested. Everything that we say, we are tested by everything. Either we're going to be condemned by it, or we're going to be justified.
Absolutely.
So you folks that's out there that's coming with scriptures and stuff talking about he could have went this way, it could have been helped. We all know that. But this is the human experience here.
Right.
Y'all act like this Jesus character, right, didn't have a human experience. There's a lot of books y'all ain't even never heard of that talks about some other things about his life. Those missing parts of his life that this European this king who sanctioned these men to go ahead and put this allegory from Rome together through Constantine. Right? Y'all know nothing about y'all history, but anytime this white man tell y'all anything about what y'all history should be, y'all jump right on that. Which all this stuff is going to have Christians and chemists.
We accept everything instead of dictating the climate for ourselves. The same way nobody talk about how the joke. All comedy is not acceptable. It's fucking class. Class and have a boundary for comedy. Everything ain't funny. Everything on that joke.
Right.
I didn't hear nobody talk about how joke.
Mm-hmm.
I never laughed at that.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought that shit was funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yet the whole nation did though, because
Mm-hmm.
they get with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Sometimes stand for something. You know what? That ain't cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Speak, black man. Speak.
That was an attack on all of us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right there, getting club, getting then it's killed. That big man could have died out there.
Right. Right. And I think that's the.
And he did get he got a concussion, and he was never right.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He beat him really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't live long to enjoy that money.
And it's a lot of.
He was riding with two of his homeboys too. Nobody ever talks about. Two of his homeboys were missing. They were riding that same car with that man.
Yeah, that's right. And so those are the discussions that we as a community have to start having. Those kind of discussions. Because what the media wants us to do is to sit here and be arguing about and get us arguing and fussing and going at each other about what Will and Chris did. It ain't about Will and Chris. It's a much bigger picture than that. It's a much bigger picture.
They're going to kiss and make up, and they're going to be brothers again.
They've already done it. Like I said, they probably at each other's house now, talking to each other. They done dapped it up. They good. I'm pretty sure both of them they seem like good brothers, smart brothers. I'm pretty sure they done moved on. They done apologized. They done moved on. Hopefully, Chris will be able to talk to his brother and tell him, you need to get some help. I think Will, and sometimes the other thing, like why people saying, he shouldn't have done this. Sometimes you have to have those crazy moments or those stupid moments when you do something that will push you back into reality when you saying to yourself, you know what? I need to get some help because something wrong with me. Sometimes those things have to happen, and the whole world saw it. You're at the Oscars of all places where we just started winning awards, and you're getting like one of the biggest awards for the night, and you do something like this. Don't think that Will was not feeling bad, even when he walked back to his seat.
It was obvious. It was obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been on them for a while now because, so much controversy came out since Jada pulled out this red table.
Yes.
And she's going behind the psychology of the dysfunctionalness of not just their family, and I appreciate them doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They're showing us, we're looking at us.
Right.
The dysfunctionalness of humanity.
Right.
Real,
yeah.
The black community, but of humanity. And she ain't had to look at all the colors at that table.
But you know what? The only thing I disagree with Jada and her red table is that when you start digging and you start having certain discussions, you need to have a professional at the table to bring it all back together, to put the pieces together.
On some tables, she did.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's who she getting a lot of her advice and stuff. Because, with the issues that she got going on with her own family. I mean, she's the typical black woman. That same shit going on in her house, going on in everybody's house. For real, in one way or another.
We all dealing with it.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, I appreciate that red table because, us women, it's a documentary on Netflix called Human. Check it out, people, because it starts from the belly. Yeah. All the way up until old age.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
And it breaks it down into sexes, how women are socialized from infants all the way up to womanhood and men. And definitely men and women are socialized differently.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, both of us have been lied to. I would like to think that men's been lied to even more because they are always been the provider, the head of the community, right? So they were told that you have to do this, right? You have to carry this because you're the man, right? You can't cry. You're not supposed to show your
exactly.
Bullshit. But see, that's that white European shit.
And the thing
is, let me tell you something. The white men cry a whole lot.
And the thing is,
and that white woman on his ass for real. She makes him cry.
If you telling your little boys, this is what people have to remember. They have to remember they have to remember.
Black women, you better wake up.
Yeah.
Because our man is at the bottom of the totem pole on every spectrum, from every advantage point in our society.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we control economics from welfare, ground zero, all the way to the highest paid black woman in our damn community. Mm-hmm. What we need to do as black women is take that money and invest it into these boys out here.
Thank you.
And stop going to this white man, the very one that oppressed us. God didn't allow us to go into that door for nothing and sit at that damn table and get what we got.
That's right.
And we get in there, not every black woman I have talked to that have been in corporate America, whatever workforce and stuff, they have talked about how they have had to pay double. Right, and my mother used to say to me all the time, as a black girl child, right, you have to work twice as hard. Yes. Why I gotta fucking work twice as hard, Mom? For what reason? She said that's just who we are. Yeah. And so many of us black women has gotten up there and we got in there and we found out you done got your goddamn bachelor, you got that master degree, PhD and stuff. You got a damn white woman that comes in here, don't have no goddamn education. And she made more money than you and controls the goddamn industry.
I've been in that situation.
And we cool with it.
Right. I worked in corporate America.
Cool with it, yeah. Let's just say something to us about we should subtract ourselves from the situation. Okay, we don't need your motherfucking ass. You keep your ass over there, right? And we taking what I come on your plantation and work. You pay me my goddamn money I work for and I earned it. And shit, I'm going back fucking home and I'm investing in my goddamn community. And I'm going to invest in this black man who you keep calling the goddamn beast of the goddamn planet. And if anybody's the damn beast of the planet, it is the fucking white man, because he has been on every goddamn continent, and every continent that he went on, everybody put their guards up when he come, because he has raped every continent on this goddamn planet. A black man can go to any continent on this goddamn planet, and he got to worry about damn shit. But when a white man walk on that fucking land, they put their arms up. And then they over there in Ukraine fighting each other. The United States and Russia is running the fucking same. Well, don't be fooled by this fucking propaganda.
Let me say this. The thing about it, one point I wanted to say that she made was about corporate America, black women in corporate America. I worked in corporate America for a long time. And I was a district manager, and I had to work not twice as hard, 3 or 4 times as hard as they did. And every employee that was the worst employee that they had, or they had problems with, they gave them to me. And you know what I did? My thing was, that was their way of trying to make me look bad, trying to push me out of the position. I turned all of that around. And I said, I'm going to turn it into something where these are going to be the most outstanding employees that you've ever seen. Because it's not that they're bad people. You have to understand where they're coming from.
I'm not saying that. Well, Donahue did a show before he went off the air, right? And that show was about all these hippies from the 70s that became CEOs of these Fortune 500 companies, and none of them knew how to read. Yeah. So what they did is they created a circle of family around them, right? That had the skill sets and tools to help them build their Fortune 500 companies. But the reality was that these CEOs could not read. Right. You know, so a lot of them was on dope and stuff back in the 70s, right? And so I always say to folks that sometimes it's not even racism that we're facing as African Americans when we go into these circles in that world on that plantation. A lot of times they just don't want you to know what they don't know.
Well,
and many times we find out, right? Say, well, goddamn, I'm up here doing this, that, and the fourth. They using me and using my skill sets and ideas to build this company, but really they can't be creative. They're not as creative as I am. And you'll discover that some of them got dyslexia and all kinds of shit, right? These just money hungry folks. I ain't saying they bad people. We know that all white folks ain't bad folks. We had abolitionists. We got more abolitionists today than anything. We just need to utilize that to our advantage on the chessboard. That's all I'm saying. We need to learn how to play goddamn chess and stop. We can't even play checkers. We're not even at the table playing checkers.
Good God,
education. That's what it comes down to, educating our people. Y'all, I'm gonna have to go in a few minutes. I gotta call my mother up. But listen, this has been like an awesome discussion. It's been a really, really awesome discussion. And the thing about it, I want us to always remember, like, it's okay for us to have these discussions. It's okay for us to agree, to disagree. Mr. Andre, you was getting on my nerves tonight, but I still got love for you, brother. I don't really know you personally, but I still got love for you. I respect my brothers. I have an African American son. I respect my brothers. I will always uphold them. And
What's up, E?
Grown men, let grown men handle their business. And we gotta stop telling grown men how they're supposed to, unless this grown man, thank you. Unless these grown men are in the home, beating the crap out of their wife, abusing them in some way. Okay, I can see you jumping and saying, hey, y'all need to get it away. If this man is protecting his home, leave this grown black man alone. Okay, that's all I want to say. Because all throughout the years, and I know people gonna be saying, there she go again, but all throughout the years, there's always been throughout history where people are trying to strip our black men from jobs, from being in the family. In the 70s, I remember growing up when the men had to hide. They couldn't even be in the homes if the woman was on welfare. They had to hide, because nobody could know that the man was living there. They always tried to, pull the black man away.
It's a death trap for most people that's in there, but for the black man, that system was designed for the black man.
Yeah,
that's right.
So we have to make sure that
child support, CPS, the color people services, so that they can basically let the penal system discipline us. You can't put your hands on the kids no more.
We're almost
the courts actually favor the female.
Right.
When it comes to child abuse and stuff, that system, I know about that system. Trust and believe. I'm a victim of that too. Know it all too well.
And so this is why I'm saying we have to have these discussions, because we have to educate people, to help people to understand. Don't just believe everything you see or everything you're reading. Do your research.
That's
if
right.
you can, and I'm gonna tell y'all, it's not hard. It's not hard to meet people these days and get in contact with them, find out their story and find out what's going on. It's not hard. I'm telling y'all, it's so easy. And y'all see the people that I talk to, it's very easy to do. People that I be interviewing, it's not all the time that I know somebody. I see them, I find ways to contact their reps, they talk. It's not that hard. So if y'all really want to know the story behind certain stuff, stop just reading the articles and looking at the little things, that they put out. Do your research, because sometimes things are not always as they seem. And that's why I come on here and I talk the way that I do. And I'm still Chaplain Jenkins. Still love God, still love the word, everything, all of that. But the truth is the truth, and we got to have those discussions. And I never want to end any of my lives with people mad at each other, we upset. No, I have love for everybody. But I feel like as you got,
hey, Andre, I love you, black man.
Yeah, I love you. I love him. I just didn't want to. I love you, black man. I wasn't going to let you derail the conversation, Mr. Andre. But we going into religion, because that's not what the conversation was about. And I think we deflect a lot of times by wanting to go into religion and scriptures and all of that. Let's deal with the issues, because everybody don't understand the scriptures or the religion. You got to educate them first. You got to teach them how to read. You got to talk to them. You got to help them understand thee, thou, this, and
read, but
comprehend.
Yeah.
You got to help them do those things. And then you can talk about Jesus and you can talk about scriptures. Mr. Andre, I'm telling you, because I'm in the street every day. I'm telling you. People don't understand. You got to break some stuff down to them. So I'm just saying to you, who's it? Danielle, how you doing? I haven't heard from her in a while. This is a good convo and on point. Thank you.
Hey, Andre, remember, God puts his word above his name, right? His word gonna always manifest flesh, and it's gonna always be above his name. He put that above him, right, in the Christian teaching. Right, but it also, if you remember, Jesus said that the stories of the people, the testimonies, will be even more powerful than his word.
Right.
That is the reality of our narrative and how we speak and talk to each other and share with each other, because that's going to be the very thing that heals us.
Exactly.
Yes.
The healing.
That's going to be the very thing that heals. That's going to heal us quicker than the word.
Exactly.
Right? Like a person that's in the book reading all this chemical stuff about chemical warfare and stuff, and they're a bookworm and stuff. No, that ain't gonna do it. It's the person that have experienced drug addiction dealing with another drug addict that's going through that pathway that's gonna heal that person. A violent man who have taken a couple of lives out here, right? He's the one that can sit down with some of these young men who is carrying that burden and that cross right now.
Yeah.
It's both ready to commit suicide or kill some more folks.
And this is what I want to see. Go ahead,
dead, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And this is what I want to see. Because God and what's his name? Denzel said it last night. Sometimes God gives like the biggest burdens and problems to his soldiers. He knows who his soldiers are. And so God will allow you to go through stuff in life, because later on down the road, you're going to be that person that's going to straighten some people out. Think about this. Chris and Will, they friends. Will went up there and slapped Chris. Will now understands that he got a problem. Will is a powerful man all over the world. When Will finally sits in front of that camera and talk about his issues and what caused him to do what he did and how he been holding stuff in, do you know how many people Will Smith is going to heal? And how many people Will Smith is going to help?
That's real.
That's why Denzel whispered that in his ear when he came off of that stage.
Well, I mean, as a woman watching him last night cry.
Exactly.
The way he held, his composure last night, and then they put the camera on Denzel. Denzel was getting teared up right there. He put it, and I seen him cock through. I saw a white boy had a piece of tissue biting his eye.
Yeah.
And stuff. I mean, I like he was healing then.
Yeah, because he was
sent a
even
big
saying
to men that it's okay to cry.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's okay to protect your family.
Right.
And when the time comes, when he ready to talk about his apology to Chris Rock, I got a feeling that Chris Rock gonna come to that red table.
Oh yeah.
Because see, Snoop Dogg did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He did it with Gail, a black woman. See, when you talk about the black woman, you're talking about the mother of civilization. When you talk about the black man, you're talking about the father of civilization. Okay? We are the parents of the entire humanity. Don't we didn't come out of white folks. White folks came out of us. We carry the dominant gene. That's in their medical books. That's not some stuff I'm sitting here making up. Go. I ain't gonna ask you to go. I'm telling you to go to the library and get a medical book and look up genes. And it tells you who carries the dominant gene. Now when we get down to the white folks, we can see that the gene has mutated and it becomes a recessive gene. You understand? So and they know the oldest bones is the Eve bones. That was on the world news back in the 80s.
Right.
So
education, y'all. Education is very important.
Education.
That's why
we're paying a price for education.
Oh yes.
See, we always pay a price for knowing how to read.
Exactly. And so they, let's change the narrative of if you want a black, what do they say? If you don't want a black person to know something, it's like give them a book or take a book away or something like that. They say hide the book. Yeah. Let's change that narrative. Let's start picking up the books. Let's start reading. And I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm gonna end by saying a couple of things because I need y'all to really hear. Everybody's on here, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that. I need y'all to hear this. This thing is bigger than Will and Chris. We're talking about mental health issues. Okay? So we got to understand.
And let me just say real quick to the people out there that can't read. I come from a place I come from an educated family, but during school, I had reading problems. I was behind in my reading a couple of grades, but my mother jumped in And she used to make me do book reports. And so the reason why I'm so much into the whole black thing, because she always gave me black books to read.
Mm-hmm.
She also gave me an economics book. Didn't know the words. She always told me that big words ain't nothing but little words, a bunch of little words mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say something to the folks out there that cannot read and don't know how to read, and the adults that's out there. Because I'm still not the best reader in the world. But let me say something. God will compensate for
mm-hmm.
your illiteracy.
Mm-hmm.
You have gifts and talents that he's bestowing on you to get you through your pathway, right? And I've talked to many people that cannot read.
Stop,
right?
Get down for a minute.
And
Stop.
I like, how the hell you survive?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they always manage to find somebody they can trust to do their paperwork, this, that, and the form, with some of the ones that's on very low reading levels and stuff, right? But a lot of it is their gifts. They're gifted. They got some kind of talent. It gets them through, right? And so don't feel bad if you don't know how to read, if you're an adult out there, or if you're a child out there that don't know how to read. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. A lot of our ancestors didn't know how to read, and they persevered, and we're standing on their shoulders today.
Right.
Right.
And
we're enjoying the benefits of freedom and liberty because of these people who were totally illiterate. Real talk, people.
That's real.
And we have to
don't
be
ashamed of what you think is your weakness, because God will make you strong in those areas.
right.
And y'all out there, and those out there who making fun of that, y'all out of order for that, because y'all making fun of them out here and reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Those of
You
y'all
better hope you don't have a child that wind up in the same predicament as those who like to laugh at the folks.
Yeah.
That's on the bottom. Remember, the last shall be the first. We live in the laws of relativity. Einstein talked about it. In the allegory book, Jesus Christ talked about it. What's least will be great. What's last is going to be first. So all you folks out there that's making folks, joking on folks, bullying folks, putting folks down, looking down on folks on your high horse, you better hope you ought to be thanking God, right, that you don't have a child that don't know how to read, but you better hope you don't have no grandchildren that don't know how to read, so that you can actually walk the shoes and see how it feels, the pain that you caused other people when you laughed at them.
That's right.
What comes around goes around. Don't laugh at folks.
The same thing with mental illness, because a lot of times, too often in our black community, we pretty much push off, that nigga ain't crazy, or he ain't crazy, Oh, you wrong. Give that man a little attention, but get women some attention, and if you ain't diagnosed to help him, then seek some attention for that.
Right.
Well, you know what our ancestors say: if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
Right.
And we have to, those, all of us, when you walk into your healing and your greatness, you have to be that one that goes back into the community to grab other people and help them. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go back and educate people. That's why when I walk through the community, you don't need to call me Dr. Lady J. I'm just Lady J because I'm here to help you. And it ain't about me. It's about you. What can I do for you? That's the attitude that we have to have. We have to also understand that mental illness is real. And our children, our teenagers, our adults, our elderly people, it's real. People are having a lot more mental health issues. Dorothy said something earlier that more of our people are committing suicide than ever before. We're not talking about it. Why? But I'm going to have that discussion, even if I get blocked again. We're going to have that discussion, and we're going to talk about especially black men, committing suicide, And so we have to talk about that because
another celebrity who child just committed suicide,
right?
Regina King.
Yeah, and the thing about it, when we teach our boys that they can't cry, that you got to hold your feelings in, where do their feelings go? If you're telling them from a little boy, you can't cry, suck it up, you a man. Where do those feelings go? Where are they putting them at? Then they grow into a young man going through puberty. Then they go into their adulthood. Where are all of these suppressed feelings at? One day, I'm telling y'all, it's going to come out. and it's going to come out in ways.
And let me
That's
just
why
say,
a lot of our brothers
all
are
those
sitting in
women
jail.
that's been running these households by themselves. Don't beat yourself up because you got 2-parent households and they ain't there. They're absent.
Right.
Both
so, people, everybody
raising themselves by themselves.
And everybody is dealing with their own. Let me say this too, to everybody. All of us on the planet are dysfunctional. I know people don't want to hear that. We all have some type of dysfunction going on. Whether you want to believe it or not, if you don't believe it today, your day is coming. We all have some type of dysfunction going on within us, within our homes, within our families. It's just human. We're in a sinful world. But we do the best that we can to get through it, and we try to get the help that we need.
To heal each other.
We do.
Each other's stories and
we have these conversations, and we have to be transparent. That's why I sit on the screen, and I'm always transparent about me. You have to be transparent about when you're ready. And everybody is not cut out to sit in front of the screen and talk like me. But you can go talk to somebody quietly. You can send a text. You can make a phone call. We all can do something to help somebody else. And that's what we don't do as a community. We see stuff going on. We shut the door. We talk about it in our own little corner, and we keep going. That has to change. And we have to get to a point where we sit down and we have these conversations. Last thing I want to say before I go is this. Watch what you say about people. Watch what you say about people. You don't know what people are going through.
That's right.
And a lot of times, like I said, when I'm sitting in this camera, I can only talk about me. I can only tell my story. And I remember people talking about me and saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm sleeping. I done slept with more people than I know about. I mean, it's just like, according to people, I done slept with everybody. And you hear all of these things about yourself. And you have to sometimes, go somewhere and just cry it out and just get it out. Because, you're not doing certain things that people are talking about. And God will elevate you if you stay
we got some work
on
to do with these
course.
Young women, because we all have pretty much the same experience.
Yeah.
And stuff, right? We've gotten so fake in the Black communities.
But here's the thing.
That's why we're not been successful.
Right.
Until we learn how to be ourselves and love on us, love us first. Right. We're not going too far.
If you don't know how to love yourself, you will never learn how to love anybody else, and nobody will love you because you teach people how to treat you. So if you're walking around and you don't have love for yourself, you're gonna get what you put out. The energy you put out is the energy that you want to get. So you gotta love yourself first. And if people are saying things about you and it's not true, you gotta find somebody to talk to. I brainwash.
Everybody got something that they was bullied with.
You gotta find somebody
bullied in their lifetime.
Yes, you gotta find somebody because
like you say, you gotta do it when you're ready.
When you're ready. There is power, everybody. I'm telling you, there is power in healing. Hey, Dr. Nisi, how you doing? I gotta get her on here too. There's power in healing. There's power in
get off of here, so maybe you can bring her on here real quick.
I'm going to go talk to my mother. I ain't bringing nobody else on right now. I'm gonna call my mother up. That's my priority right now. I'm gonna call my mother up.
I'm gonna say good night to everybody. Y'all have a good one. I love all you.
All right, good.
Black power people. Power to the people.
Hey, well said, sister LadyJ. You doing it, girl? You shining like a dying man.
Yes. So listen, y'all. We're gonna come back. We'll have this discussion again. We'll definitely come back and talk about it again. But I just want everybody to understand that you are worth it. Whatever you're doing, you're worth it. You got to be happy about yourself, though. You got to be happy about you. And it doesn't. You have to get to a point in your life where, especially as you get older, people saying stuff. They talking about this. Do you? That's the point I had to get to, Jabari, where I was just like, you hear all of this stuff in your ear, people saying this, people saying that, they talking. Whole time, I'm in school. So then that's why I kept quiet. Because I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shock everybody. Because while y'all talking, I'm in them books. I'm in them
That's
books.
right.
I'm studying. I'm reading. Yeah, because I need to educate myself. You know, I need to educate myself. So I'm gonna let, because before I would turn around, and I'm telling y'all this for a reason. Stop arguing with people. You don't have to argue with people about your destiny or your journey. You take your journey, you go on your destiny, do what you have to do. And I got tired of arguing with and fussing with people. But like Will Smith, I had not healed in certain areas. So if you said I was doing something and I knew I wasn't doing it, I'm gonna come at you. And I would go at it with people like for hours. Then I would hang up. Then I might come to your house. I might be in your face. That's all the crazy stuff that I was doing. And when I look back, I'm like, that was so much energy wasted. If you know you're not doing those things, that's energy wasted. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let people talk. Say what y'all gotta say. I'm in school. And then I'm gonna hit y'all with these papers. I'm gonna hit y'all with the graduation date. That's what I'm gonna do. And the moment I did that, everybody was like, she was in school? Yeah, I was in school. While y'all was talking and while y'all said I was with this one and that one over there, I was in school. I was with my books. That's what I was sleeping with, my books. My books, my phone, and my computer. Matter of fact, if y'all can see it, they all on my table right now. Because that's what I sleep with. So, you have to get to the point where you have so much love for yourself. Don't waste the love and energy that you have for you on anybody that's not worth it. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
If listen, if they are not supporting you, and if you don't have people in your life, these are the kind of people you should have in your life. I'm gonna say this real quick and I'm gonna go. You need to have people in your life who not only support you, but people who love you enough to tell you, you know what, sis, you're doing the wrong thing. Bro, that's the wrong thing. You need to get that together. But at the end of the day, they still love you. They still respect you. Those are the kind of people you have in your life, people that you are accountable to. So so they can pull your coattail. That's what I was saying about Will. Who's pulling Will's coattail to say, bro, you need to get some help? He got enough money that somebody got to be telling him something.
Exactly.
All
the yes man part in this corner.
Exactly. Yep. Somebody got to tell this man, bro, you need some help. But sometimes God has to allow certain things to happen to get your attention so you understand. Now he was on the world stage. Don't ever do that again, Will. Don't ever do it again. I'm gonna help you clean it up this time, but don't do that again. But God will allow these things to happen. So I'm just saying to everybody tonight, it's good to have these conversations. I'm sorry that these two brothers that happened on stage, but again, things happen, and when people are struggling mentally, you just never know when they're going to explode. I've been in them situations several times where people looking at me like, "Hey, what's wrong with her?" But I had just gotten to that point where I'm exploding, and you're gonna get it for that person, for that person, for that person, for everybody got on my nerves, because you finally hit the magic button. So now I'm going to explode all over you, and you're gonna get all of it. And that's what happens sometimes. That's what happens. And so that's why I tell people, stop pushing people. Because see, everybody elevated don't go to the top floor, y'all. And y'all better stop pushing them buttons, because y'all gonna get stuck on one of them floors and get slapped like Chris Rock did last night. Because you're gonna get stuck on that floor and you trying to get off and you can't. And so stop pushing buttons. And that's why I have learned. I tell everybody that's around me, I practice peace. If you don't practice peace, you cannot be in my space. You can't be in my home, my office, my nothing. I don't want to be around you because I practice peace. And you're not going to disturb my peace. And when you do think that you're going to disturb my peace, I'm going to dismiss you like you're going to be gone. And I always say it's not personal, but it's about me because I love me. And so you have to love yourself enough where you start saying, you know what? I'm going to exercise peace and love for myself because this is what I deserve. It's not about this person, but I need to start working on me. That's the conversation I want us to continue having in our community because our community needs to heal. We now have children who are growing up who are suicidal, they're depressed, they're dealing with anxiety, they're dealing with stress, and nobody's addressing it. And I had people calling me all the time saying, Lady J, I'm trying to get my child into a mental health facility to get some help for somebody to talk to them. In Baltimore City, the clinics are so crowded right now, they can't take appointments to bring people in. That's how bad it is in this city where I live. And so, mental health is a serious thing. Like I said, whether you're poor, rich, in between, it affects everybody. And one thing I meant to say while Dorothy was on here is that when you're dealing with infidelity, and you have to continue to be in the home with that person and these people don't get the help that they need, that's inside. And that's what I was saying about the black man. There's not too many black men that I have met who are okay and excited that another man has been inside of their woman, because black men don't deal with that very well. So, Will having to deal with infidelity and also dealing with the fact that this was his son's friend, which was a younger man sleeping with his wife, and dealing with the fact that it happened in the home. There's so many things that this man is dealing with that people are not talking about, that he's walking around with. And he's still laughing it up, still trying to be Will Smith. Go back, everybody. YouTube Will Smith giving his acceptance speech for his award. And you'll understand what I'm saying. Because he was saying in so many words, I need help. And he was crying. And those were not tears where he was acting. Those were real tears of pain. The man is in pain. Now you're dealing with another issue where your woman is coming to you. Now she's hurting because she has alopecia. And she's trying to figure how to go through that. And a black man is, they are the protector of their homes. They're going to protect the wife, the children, everybody, the dog, everybody that's in the home. And you're not going to come for their family. So the fact that this is another thing added in his basket that he has to deal with. Now I got to protect my wife, because my wife is feeling a little self-conscious because she walking around with a bald head. I got to deal with that. I'm still dealing with the fact that there was some infidelity where she's having sex with another man, you know. And I've talked to men who said that sometimes, and the kids should be in the bed by now. I hope ain't no children up. And with the men have said sometimes they having sex with their woman, and they start thinking about, there were several things. A few guys were telling me they started thinking about, well, I wonder if I'm. It's almost like they're comparing themselves to the other man. I wonder if I'm as good as he was, or what was he doing to her, or they thinking about all of this while they having sex, And so these are the things that I'm sure Will has been dealing with. And so as we talk about him going up and doing the slap, that slap meant so many different things. It wasn't a slap just because Chris Rock said something about Jada, you'll be the next G.I. Jane. That was not what that slap was about. That slap was about, I've had enough. I'm tired of people talking. You supposed to be my bro. Now you up here talking about me, so you gonna get it. It was so many things going through this brother's mind. And because the Will Smith that I think that we all know would never step out of character like that in front of all of these white people. And because the Oscars, really, black people don't care about no Oscars. But from what I said, from black people are hilarious, though. A lot of them said they will be watching next year to see what else is going to happen. They watching for the highlights for next year. So, but and that's how we do. That's how we do. We're going to go get a piece of chicken or something else. So we're going to sit there. We're going to see. We wanting something to happen now. We want something to happen. Who's sending? Oh, somebody sending me a message. We want something to happen at the next Oscars, like
those views gonna be jumping next
year. Yes, next year. But we just have to understand, and we gotta look a little bit deeper into. That's just the counselor in me, y'all. I'm sorry. We gotta look a little bit more deeper into what that slap really meant, and so that's what I want everybody to understand. Sandy said, she's on YouTube. She said he could have handled it better. Chris called him whatever you want. He handled that situation with class and grace. Good job, Chris. And see, I love you, Sandy. You know you my sister, you my girl. But I want to say this. Everybody's like, oh, Chris handled it really well. I go back and watch my video. Go back to the beginning. We've been on for a while. I didn't even know I was going to be on this long. I've been out all day, y'all. But listen, it wasn't that Chris handled it better. Chris is evidently healed in certain areas. So Chris, knowing his friend and already knowing what they've gone through, Chris knew it was no need to duke it out, fighting and all of that. Chris, I'm pretty sure, like I said 1,000 times in this here video, that Chris had probably processed it in his mind, like, I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna talk to my brother later. Because he understood that Will, that's not the Will that he knows. So I don't think Chris was tripping as much as people are tripping about it. Chris realized that he made a mistake in that moment, that he had hit a nerve when he said something about Jada. And he stopped and he went on to the next thing. He didn't joke anymore. He didn't say anything about Will. He went on as if nothing happened. That has nothing to do with having class. That's understanding that your brother got a problem. I'm gonna deal with this later. And all of my white friends that are on here, I love you. But he knew also that I'm not going to give what white people think that we're supposed to act. But now we're supposed to be fighting and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. We're going to handle it outside of here. That's what I'm thinking of Chris Rock. And like I told you,
you didn't have class when he initiated that.
Thank you.
You know,
thank you.
It's like you starting something, then you
right.
It up, now you got class. No,
right. That's not what it was.
Hell no.
So let's not be clapping for Chris and all of that. Chris handled it the way a healed person will handle that, whether you black, white, Chris Rock, or whoever. And like I said, I mean, both of Chris Rock's brothers, they really seem to be upstanding guys, and they're smart men. They're smart men. And so I feel like, he just knew to let it go. We're not going to put on the show. We're going to keep it going, and that's going to be it. And we're going to talk about it later. And as we have seen, they apologized. They talked. What she said, Sandy said, but my stomach reaction would have been, she said, but my stomach reaction would have been to strike back, healed or not. True. And that's why I was saying through the video also that never say what you won't do. Okay? Never, ever say what you won't do. I said I wouldn't sleep with another man while I was married. Yeah, but I did. Yeah, until you're in that situation. You see? And so never say what you won't do. And that's why I sit on this camera and I'm very transparent about certain things, because you can't ever say, well, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't do that. You never know what you're going to do until you get into that situation. Yeah. And so, and none of us can act like we perfect. We all have a past, and we have all on this screen, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, we done all done some stupid stuff, very stupid stuff. And some of the stuff has gotten us into trouble. I still wear the letter. What letter is it? The letter A, because when I was going through a separation, I actually was not with my husband, but I was depressed. I was, suicidal, all of that. I was messed up. Got my own apartment. Started talking to the guy that playing the drums. Next thing I know, we in the bed having sex. In my church, she's an adulterer, she that, but nobody addressed the issue. Why did she do that? Because that was out of character for me to do that.
Right.
So out of character. Right. So out of Thank you. And it was so out of character for me that I was telling people that I did it, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I actually did that. Even though me and my ex were not together. I was in my own place. But I still carry that to the day with people like church people. They look at me, they got to make a comment, but I'm healed. I'm past all of that, because I know I was in a very bad place. The me today, I would never do that. Never do that. But the me back then who was not in a good place, that's what I did. But prior to doing that, I was always the one in church talking about, oh, I would never do that. I would never sleep with nobody while I'm sleeping. I did it. You know, that's why I sat in the camera like 2 years ago. They was having this discussion, and I just said it because I'm like, I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there. Y'all keep talking. Now you don't have what you gonna tell now. You don't have nothing to tell. It's already out there. Because my thing is about educating people. So if you want to laugh, if you want to put the letter A on my chest, my back, my forehead, whatever, do whatever you want to do. This is about healing people. So that's why I tell people don't ever say what you're not going to do. Because you don't know until you get in that situation.
That's right.
You don't know. And I've done some stupid stuff. And then I had to think back. I can't tell y'all the one thing I did because I can't tell y'all about that. But I did something to somebody one time. And I was just like, that could have really been a messed up thing. You know, but God was with me. Like God was really with me because I'm telling you, he knew that he had a path and a journey for me later on. But I'm like, some of this stuff out of anger that I think about what I did because I felt like I was always being attacked and people didn't understand me. Like I was on the path of not caring. That was the bottom line. So I'm just saying to everybody, never say what you won't do. Because when you get into certain situations, you never know when you're going to snap. This is the other thing. Triggers are very real. Now, I have certain things that will trigger me. A man pushing my buttons, that's a trigger. And I have to walk away because if I don't walk away, I'm going to go upside your head. So I have to walk away, you know. But I've learned through therapy to turn myself around and walk away. And so you have to know that there are certain things that will trigger things and people. Be very careful with your words, your judgments, and what you're saying. If you don't know what you're talking about, shut your mouth up. And that's why I'm very vocal, and I'm not going to let people say what they want to say. You're not going to do that because that's how people get hurt. And hurt people don't always know how to express how they really feel. They just walk around with their pain until they can't take the pain anymore. And then they react on that pain. So listen, y'all, I got to go because I got to call my mother up and I'm going to talk to her. It's been a great night. I hope everybody learned something tonight because this is all about learning, having fun. Yes. Thank you to the YouTube people, the Twitter people, the Facebook people. Jabari, thank you. Miss Dorothy. Thanks for having me, AJ. Yes, Miss Dorothy, thank you for coming on. We're going to have this discussion again. But listen, y'all, Thursday night, this is what I need y'all to do Thursday. Thursday night, my girl Selena Polk, okay? Her movie premiere is coming out in Baltimore. She's gonna be worldwide soon, so you know, just hold on, hang tight. But her movie premiere is coming out on Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Senator Theater on York Road. Get your tickets. I'm gonna be there. I'm looking for people. She's having a black carpet, not a red carpet, a black carpet. So come out, be a part of that. It's gonna be fun. I'll be there. Yes. Afterwards is the after party. So we're gonna have fun at the after party. They got it's all you can eat buffet. They're gonna have music. I don't drink, but I understand they're gonna have drinks and stuff. I don't drink, y'all. But they're gonna have that. They're gonna have a little show. It's gonna be really, really nice. Come dressed to impress because there's gonna be some people there that unassuming. That's all I'm gonna say. But they're gonna be there too, and so you might want to come dressed to impress with your business cards. It's gonna be a really, really, really big night, and y'all already know Lady J gonna be dressed. I'm going to be dressed, so don't come with no foolishness. Always and forever. Yeah, me. Yes. Don't come with no foolishness, none of that, because it's gonna be a night where we coming out to have fun. We're gonna celebrate Selena, her movie. Her movie's called Afraid of the Dark, and it's basically about domestic violence, women and domestic violence. And y'all know I'm a big advocate for domestic violence. So please come out. I already saw the trailer. It's going to be really good. So come out to that on Thursday. Me and Jabari, we got some stuff that's coming up soon that y'all going to absolutely, they going to love it when it comes out. Yes. We got some stuff that we working on, y'all. You see, we can't tell y'all because y'all don't know how to act. So we can't tell y'all what's going on. The project's cooking. I'm trying to tell y'all he cooking. Yes. So we got some big stuff that's about to come out. And y'all know Lady J, I tell y'all at the very last minute, because I don't want nobody stealing my secrets, but I'm going to tell you something. Like he said, we got some stuff cooking that's, it's going to blow your way. So that's coming up soon. So listen.
Coming to us in that year.
Yes. So we got some stuff going on. It's gonna be fun. We've been out all day today. Like, it's just been crazy. And
so we do right o'clock.
Yes, and the week is gonna be crazy because we got a busy week of doing stuff. And listen, y'all, we ain't talking to random people. We talking to some people, okay? We talking
heavyweights,
to some
people. All
heavyweights.
I tell you.
So let me tell you, when you become healed, God will bless you. And it's a scripture in the Bible that says he will make your enemies your footstool. So everybody that's laughed at you, everybody that thinks you're not going to be anything, you're not going to go anywhere, those of you who did not want to help me when I was asking you last year about how to get my radio started and y'all was laughing, I still love y'all. I still got love for you, and I'm going to still send you some tickets for when we do our stuff that's coming up. But God said, I will make your enemies your footstool. He will put you at a table, everybody, where your enemies have to sit there and watch you eat at the table. All the laughing and stuff that they've been doing, and you're not going to be this and you're not going to be that. Stay in your lane, stay the course, because the day is going to come where you won't be calling anybody. People won't be calling you. I'm telling you what I know. Because I don't really call nobody now. And I thank God for that. People are calling me. And people want me to be a part of what they're doing. That's why I'm talking about the mental illness, because I want you to get out of your own way so you can start grabbing hold of your gifts and your talents and start putting them out there. All of us have a special gift and a talent that was created just for us. There's no other Lady J. Everybody, and I'm not saying that in a way trying to be smart, but God allowed me to go through certain things so I could sit here and be Lady J. God is allowing you to go through certain things in your life, Jabari, so you can be Jabari. You can be Jab. You can be that person. That's what he's doing for all of us. And so now it's time for everybody, stop getting in your own way. Stop listening to what everybody's saying. Start working on you. Because once you start working on you and them doors start opening, let me tell you something. You will never let another person get on your nerves again. And the mighty doors that God has opened for me and continues to open every single day for me, that's why I said I don't deal with foolishness.
Preach.
I don't let you get on my nerves. Because the moment you allow people to come and do those things, it's a distraction. It's taking you off your course and your purpose. Don't let anybody do that. You have a purpose. We were not just born in our mother's wombs just to be born so I could be Charlene Jenkins. No, I was born for greatness. Go for your greatness. Go for what God created you to be. If you don't know what it is, once you start your healing, you may be over here thinking you're supposed to be over here doing something. He's going to pull you all the way out of there and put you where you're supposed to be. God, I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. Because I never thought I would be sitting here. I just started this in 2019. And I never thought I would be meeting some of the people that I talk to, that I shake hands with. That's because God had to let me go through my own personal hell and then my healing. So I would be able to sit here. That's right, Danielle. That's right. So I would be able to sit here and understand that it's not about me, but he allowed me to go through those things so I can help somebody else. That's what it's about. And that's what helps me to continue to grow. So I hope y'all have a really good night. Those of you who came in late with your silly comments, if you go back to the beginning, you'll understand why I was saying what I was saying. And it all boils down to mental health. And we got to make sure that we continue to check in. And as I said, y'all, I still go to therapy every Tuesday at 2:00. So don't call me at 2:00 because I'm in therapy, because I got to make sure that I stay good on the straight and narrow. So I check in every Tuesday. And my therapist be saying, Miss Jenkins, I think you've been coming long enough. I ain't been coming long enough. I need to keep coming until I go to the grave. So I'm going to continue in therapy. That's on me,
I ain't done yet.
I ain't done yet. Because I might be a Will Smith. this. You know, you might trigger something in me. So I'm like, no. I gotta continue every Tuesday. I gotta do them check-ins and talk for like, an hour, 45 minutes. And get somebody, because I deal with a lot of stuff and I deal with a lot of people. So I got to sit there and just, talk for a few minutes. And then after that, I'm good. We have our little discussion. I'm good. So listen, don't ever be ashamed of mental, going to therapy, counseling, psychiatry. Don't ever be ashamed of doing that. You need to go because it's a part of emptying out. I'm gonna have a discussion about that one day about just emptying out. When you can empty out and talk about the stuff that you're dealing with somebody else, you feel better. So you can't continue to take all the stuff in and never talk about it. You got to empty out. Fortunately for me, I sit in front of the camera and I empty it out. When I finish with y'all, I'm gonna call my mother, and then I think I'm gonna go to sleep because I need to go to sleep after all of this, after today. So everybody have a really great night. Good night, YouTubers. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. And good night, Facebook. See you, Jabari.
See you, Doc.
Yeah, we be back on it. We'll be back on it. And good night, everybody on Facebook. I got to go. All right, see y'all. Bye.
All right, now. Bye-bye.
All right, YouTube. Good night. I gotta go. Gotta go call my mom.